going on Twitter? It's Lippy. I'm back. You're gonna see me on your timelines a lot, hopefully, because everyone will find these stories entertaining like they did last time. I just want to let you know, once again, 100% true stories. Again, I might make them sound a little bit more humorous for entertainment purposes, but 9 out of 10 stories, I tell you, at the time they was happening, I was absolutely petrified. I'm not going to try act like a G or anything. I wouldn't say I've been a victim in certain occasions, but you get me. But so I want to speak to you a lot about the roads quick. I wasn't no super duper road man like 9 out of 10 of these boys out here in balaclavas and bandanas and whatever. But this, listen, if you know any of my man them I used to do whatever I used to do with, you will know that this is true, and you can ask them. And it's not a particular experience. I could talk about literally every time this happened, this is what I was on in it. And I just want to go over something with you lot that for you, it's basically you lot that aren't familiar with like the rules and regulations of the roads in London. It's probably all over England. There's little roadman rules in it, and they are like set in stone in it. These rules, every generation has these rules in it, and it's like, you get me, one of them's no snitching, standard in it, yeah. And another one is don't run in it. No snitching, yeah, I followed that rule in it. Don't run, I didn't. Listen, if you know Lippy, you know Lippy got pace. You get me? But man's got the speedster ability. You feel me? If there's danger, man's out of there, G. I don't have time to be known as a G. I'm trying to survive, fam. Yeah, so the not running rule, I didn't really follow that rule every time. Because for instance, I remember on one occasion, I was chilling with one other man. One man. Yeah, this I swear to God. And I'm not going to over exaggerate, but it was at least, I say 8 men with weapons. Man never had nothing. Me and my brethren are sitting somewhere. That's another thing. You weren't even my brethren like that. It's just, you know, the roads, you just end up with youths that you don't even like that, but you just chill with them. So I'm chilling with him. Out of nowhere, bear man just turn up in it. So obviously, I'm out of there. You get me, blood? I've done my thing. I've gone. You get me? I've gone. They're seeing dust. I'm not even turning back. I'm one of them, man. Knees and shoulders straight, knees high. I'm gone, innit? I've got the real pace. Like I was doing 100 meters under 11 seconds when I was in school and shit. I was gone. But long story short, now fast forward. I've called my man to see if he's okay, and he's like, yeah. He held a couple licks, but it's nothing kind of thing, innit? And I kind of thought, oh, that's good. You know them ones, so it's calm, innit? So then I've come back to the ends, now everyone, Lippy, why did you run? Rare tear. Why did you run? I'm saying, because I'm seeing like 8 men with knives and shit. What did you want me to do? Fight them? Like, rare tear. Oh, my man didn't run though. He's a real rare tear. I'm saying, bruv, I've spoken to him, but where is he, bruv? No word of a lie, Donnie wheeled round the corner. This was the next day, by the way. This was the next day I've seen him. Donnie's wheeled round the corner in a wheelchair. They wheelchaired my man off. So I'm saying, look at him. That's why I ran, G. He is mash. Donnie cannot walk. He didn't even wheel himself. He had a man pushing him, fam. He had a man pushing him, G. He was really fucked up. So, I'm literally like I'm you know, when I'm looking around, looking for some support, I'm thinking, so all of you, man, that's, you're so I'm wet. Because I'm not in a wheelchair, like my man, I'm wet. Where My man, oh, you're wet, G. Man's gonna be up on my feet again in a couple months. Couple months, G. G. Worst thing is, I don't even know Don like that, G. You know when a man, I would have been in a wheelchair for a man that I don't even know his government name. This is the conclusion of the moral of this story, yeah? All my young boys on the roads, come off the fucking roads. Because one, you're on the roads with youths you don't even know like that. So when the shit goes down, you're not going to care about him. Look at the story I just told you about my man. I don't even know if he's out of the wheelchair, cuz I just separated myself from them man there after that. I thought, cuz I'm not in a wheelchair, you're not fucking with me. You're not my guy, G. So this road thing, that's the day that opened my eyes. Let me tell you another story. This time I was by myself. I'm walking. Man seen a car coming from way up the road, bruv. As it's got closer, I've recognised the youth them in it. They've recognised me. They've spanned the car around. They've driven the car onto the pavement trying to run man over. I've jumped over someone's garden fence. I've got back to the ends. Man them's asking me, why did I run from a car? The man them wanted me to fight a car. Gee, anyone that wants you to fight a vehicle is not your brethren. Come off the roads, man them. Come off of the roads. You lot are just putting yourself in danger for no reason. And you know what the worst thing about it is? Now that all this beef is finished, what do you think's going on now? Nothing, fam. There's nobody got nothing. We just was fucking each other up for nothing, G. I'll give you lot another example. It's to be any kind of criminal or anything, but especially ones that involve violence, you gotta be a risk taker. Yeah? You gotta be able to take risks. And I hear a lot of the youth them saying that take risks and prosper and all of that. But I'm not a risk taker. I'm just not that kind of person. I'm not gonna lie. If I see something's dangerous, I'm not gonna do it. Man don't go on roller coasters. Man don't climb any high piece of something. I don't have no pets, no dog or cat or anything that can yam me or my children. I'm not a risk. I don't take risks. Yeah? So, but let me give you another example. This time I took a risk. I followed the rule. Well, I'm not going to lie. The only reason I followed the rule is because I couldn't run, innit? I was blocked off. So I did what every roadman does when they actually want to run away, but they can't. Start just doing what you think you should do. Say, yeah, come, fam. What? Blood, after I told them to come, fam, twice, they was coming. And I actually did try to run, but it didn't happen. I just got fucked up, really. And you know the worst thing was about it? I'll come back to the ends. My face is all mashed up. But man, them's rating me. I'm saying, but I got beat up. I got beat up, man. Say, nah, G, but you held that. I'm saying, G, I'm mashed, bro. Say, nah, G, but you held that rest. I'm saying, bro, it hurts to breathe right now. I think my ribs are broken. They're saying, nah, G, you held it. You held it. I said, bro, I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even try to hold it. I tried to get out of there. They're like, you couldn't get out of there, though. You held it. I said, G, fuck the roads. I'm not on the roads no more. About a year after that, I had my child. I never looked back. I got 3 children now. I'm off the roads. Come off the roads. Please come off the roads. There's no reward. You are doing this for ratings. For ratings. It's poor, man. Come off the roads. If you're there, you know what it is. Let me take a step back. I understand how it is. It's 2018. Everybody wants a purpose. So even if you got a little group of your man them and you're from an area and you're gonna call yourself something like, I don't know, if you're from, let me mention an area that I know won't come and rush me for mentioning them. I don't know. I don't know. The way all the youth them's just stabbing everyone, I don't even want to say no areas because they just come for me. But fuck it, let's just say let's just say, Wembley. I'm from Wembley. Yeah? So let's just say the youth them in Wembley now, they're calling themselves Wembley man them or something. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. They can make music. Who knows? They might even do a little naughtiness and make money off it. But that's all good. But because you're a collective of youth, that don't mean you have to go create problems with the next collective of youths. Because that's what you lot are doing. You lot are seeing that you got a couple man, and then you're going to find trouble with other man. There's no what why? And I'm not gonna lie, that's what we used to do. But it's only because I'm a grown man now, 26 years old, father of 3. I think, why the fuck? You understand? I understand. Yeah, some people are from areas where mad things have been happening for generations. But I'm telling you this for a fact. 9 out of 10 of these road youths have no idea what the situation is about. What they don't know. Like, for instance, if you're from Wembley, I'm telling you this. Yeah, if you're from Wembley, you know Lippy. If you're from Wembley, no one in Wembley should be warring each other. We all went to primary school and played football together. We turned 16 and just started stabbing each other up. It don't make sense. Now, our generation, I'm talking about, I'm a 90s boy. I know a lot of you are young. I'm born in 91. But I'll say from your 90s baby, even you early 2000 weirdo children that do all the weird shit, we are an amazing group of youth. And we're wasting it. We're wasting our potential on bullshit. It's as simple as that. Like, look at the music scene. For me, the contribution that youths are, like, I can't even explain it. But it's like the UK scene, we are getting a lot of attention right now. You get me? The urban scene. And we're wasting our potential on doing fuckery. You understand? The drill thing, it's gone. You got little normal white boys listening to 6-7 and all of these people. And I love that. They're finally seeing what we're about. You understand? But if they see that we're just killing each other, they're gonna fucking close the door on us again. You understand? So what I'm telling you lot is just try to get along, car. You lot, you don't understand. When we was on the roads and that, like, trying to be little pricks, it wasn't glamorous. Like, people thought we was pricks. You lot are standing outside in your tracksuits. You lot are the most popular people in your school, bro. Do something with that, you feel me? Don't become the scariest in your area. Take that popularity, make music or something. Start a football team. There's bare things, man. And it's all easier than the roads. Cause no one's gonna come for you. No one's gonna stab you. The police, them, gonna leave you alone. You don't have to be around the dirty police. And you just thrive of each other's creativity. You get me? Look at all these rappers and video makers and producers. You lot are talented boys, man. Do something. Stop this fucking fuck. Let me show you something quick, yeah? You know, bare road, man. They got scars. They got this. They got that to show you. Let me show you what I got, G. Look at that, fam. Receding hairline, bro. Listen, do you want that, cuz? I'm 26, fam. My youth is still here, fam. But my hairline ain't. If that ain't enough to come off the roads, come off the road, because I wasn't even properly on the roads like that. So you man that was really out there, really doing the mad bando living, all of that, what is your hairline saying, fam? That's what I want to know. Cause right now, hella man gonna have mash up hairline, because you lot must be stressed out. Cause when I'm listening to you lot's tunes and you lot are talking about some madness. I'm just saying, just tone it down. You'll still be you. You'll still be tough, guys. You don't have to show a man. Why? What's with all the insecurity? You understand? You're youths. You're supposed to be confident. You don't have to go around. One thing I understand, when you're young, all you have is your reputation in it. That's all you've got. You ain't paying no bills. You understand? All you have is people's opinion of you. And I understand that. There's a lot of pressure, especially with social media and shit. But just you don't have to be negative. Look at me, bruv. I'm here making myself look like a dickhead for you lot's benefit. I'm not saying you have to make yourself look like a dickhead, but just do something positive with your popularity. I'm popular on social media. I could start making music and talking about how... Nah, I'm just trying to just make everyone laugh and smile and realize that life ain't that peak. You understand? You road youths, if you weren't on the roads, 75% of your problems would disappear. My brothers them. And if you notice, I haven't said black kids now because it's all kind of youths. All youths, come off the roads, fuck the roads, love your lives. So yeah, just in conclusion to everything, I'm waffling now. I'm just over recording because my hairline looks so calm on video. In real life, it does not look like this. I don't understand what kind of technology my phone is doing right now, but I love it. But yeah, I'm back. I'm making videos again. I'm sorry if I piss you off because I pissed myself off a little bit last time. If it gets too much, please tell me to shut the fuck up. I probably won't shut the fuck up. But yeah, everyone live life and prosper, man. Fuck the roads. If you are gonna stay on the roads, when them boy they come with knife and gun and everything, run. Don't listen to the don't run rule. You know what? If you're dead, yeah. But just come off the roads. Come off the roads. Stay positive. Everybody, love your life. And yeah, enjoy your day, people. Love. Been 100 meters under 11 seconds when I was...
Yeah. Yeah. So, this is where we're at now, isn't it? This is surely where we're at now. You know, our friends' children killing our friends' children. This is what's happening now. Our friends' children is killing our friends' children. And why is that then? Why is that? Why do you think that is? Huh? Me personally, I have a problem with it. That's me personally. Me personally.
We roll.
Involved. This is the People Station.
Yeah, so, well, where do I start? Because I know where I'm going to end today. But let's start talking about, where should we start this from? I don't think we should start it from the youths. Because if we start from the youths, then that means, you know, these fucking dumb parents get away with things. And I've had enough now. You know, I've been saying this for years. So where are we going to start? Let's start from fucking pirate radio, yeah? Let's start from that. Because a lot of you people out there, you don't realize how dangerous pirate radio is. Because you've got a whole heap of little pussies on the radio, yeah? Playing music, yeah? And not realizing that you're damaging people. Because if you're playing music about killing, you're old enough to know better because you're playing the music. But some youths, they don't know any better. They think the shit what you're talking or you're playing is good. And, you know, I know people are going to disagree with what I'm saying, but I can tell you this now. 65% of the damage, what's been done, where you see these youths out in the streets killing people, yeah, has been caused by pirate radio. 65% of it. And the rest of it is caused by the parents playing the radio in the house when they're in the house, playing songs what has no respect for women, playing songs what has no respect for life. That's why the other day, yeah, they gave Ninja Man a sentence, and I was so sad for him that they didn't give him 40 years with a hanging in 4 years or 5 years' time. And people might think I'm evil, but that's not evil. What's evil is the things what came out of his mouth that encouraged the youths of today. Remember, let's go back a bit further before Ninja Man. Let's start where the fuck we really started from. There was a song by Lone Ranger that came out in 1981. It said, "Fist to fist days done. Nowadays a man has to rely on his ratchet and his gun." Now tell me something. Have you heard that before? Because I'll tell you now, in that time, 1981, a year after that thing was finished, that song was finished, people was actually rolling with guns. Yeah. Hold on. Who's this? What? Yo, brother, I'm on the radio. I can't even talk right now. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yes, brother. Genesis. Yeah. 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 Ooh. This is why I don't do a show, because my phone's gonna ring right the way through. But yeah, where was we? We was talking about the music. Now, that Lone Ranger song said, "Fist to fist days done. Nowadays a man has to rely on his ratchet or his gun." Well, a year later after that, everybody was walking with ratchets. Yeah, and it was ratchets. Everyone had a ratchet, but there was not no killings going on. But everyone was walking with ratchets. But then, as time goes on, life gets more reckless, because, all right, this little fool, Ninja Man, his come up was, and you can ask anybody that knows me, I've always said I don't like this brother, and I'm talking from 1988, not 19 or 2018, from 1988, when this brother come around, I said, this brother's a devil, man. Anyway, he come up on a tune called Dead Bomber, a dub plate. He got big off a dub plate, and the dub plate said, "You's a dead blood clot, you's a dead pussy clot." So obviously, he got big on that. So he followed his trail, and then he turned into the original front teeth gun gorgon, and how much guns he's got, and which house he's got full of guns, and all the rest of it. Now, people might be saying, what is he talking about? But listen to what I'm talking about, because I want to be clear. I want people to hear clearly what I'm talking about. You see this bag of gun thing and this bag of whatever. What people don't realize is that you play a song to an 18-year-old youth. He might not hear the words altogether. You play it to a 3-year-old youth, and he's going to hear the words properly. And they can even sing back the words after hearing the song once or twice. Now, enough people don't even check that, because whether you're playing a song that's talking about relationships or killing people, they're going to learn it. Now, when they learn these songs now, what happens is that they keep hearing it. Now, you think about it. This is why I say pirate radio, because if you go back and remember, who's in the age group to know, who was around in the 90s will know this, what I'm going to say. There was a station called Power Jam, yeah, what came around, which I was a part of. And I said to the man, listen, you see this bag of gun music and that, I can't be down with that, I've got my own use. I have to think about my use. I'm not going to open the door to play gun tunes or tunes about what's underneath a woman's clothes. When you're old enough, you will know. We don't need to play that on the radio. The man them didn't want to hear me, so I said, all right, cool, yeah, what happened? I'm off, yeah. And I went away and set up another station, what was called Baseline. And the man them what I had around me at the time was not on what I was on. So I moved along and I done this instead, Genesis. So I can point at people, and I'm not saying that I haven't had some fucking idiot DJs on there, but you notice they're not around. DJs what will play stuff. What is annoying to people. It is annoying to people, but people don't have a choice to say, don't do that. But I have a choice to say, listen, brother, don't play that on here. If you're going to play that, go away. But let's get back to it now. Remember, pirate radio does not have a program controller like other radios. They have program controls. And you have more than one person that says if that tune's going to go on the playlist or not. Yeah. So what I'm trying to point out is that pirate radio is one of the biggest killers in the black community. Yeah, it's one of the biggest killers in the black community. There isn't no bigger killer than pirate radio in London. Yeah, I don't care about anywhere else. Yeah. I know this, brother. I'm on the radio. You have to give me a couple of minutes. Yeah, you can't tell me anything what could get to people faster than pirate radio, what could pass these ignorant messages like pirate radio did, because they don't have a program controller. And without being disrespectful to anybody, because what I'm going to say is honest, if you go back and you check every radio owner, yeah, and check which one of them was doing something with their life before radio, you'll see they was doing nothing. Yeah, and this is why they can come up and do anything reckless, because they've never done nothing good with their life. So doing something bad isn't wrong neither. And these are the things what people need to understand. A lot of people want to hide under the fence and say, oh no, music didn't have nothing to do with it. No, music had all to do with it. All to do with it. Let's never get it wrong. Music had everything to do with the destruction of the black race today. And I can say this because I've been in music all my life. I've never had a different job. In fact, I've never had a job. The only thing I've ever done is music. I don't know about anything else. But, I could sit down in a room with anybody, and talk politics or whatever bullshit they want to talk about. I talk about what I know about. And what I know about is the destruction of the black community. We can all say, oh, listen to him. No. You can say what you want about me. I don't give a fuck. Because I'm doing something with my life. So who wants to talk bad about me? I'm cool with that. That's not going to shake me. What's going to shake me is every time one of my friends' sons or grandsons kills another one of my friends or my grandson's child. Now, these things gets on my nerves. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because there's olders out here. Yeah. And I'm talking about olders, not these little gang members, what we're going to get to later on. We're going to get to the gang members in a bit. Let's talk about the olders. Let's talk about the over 35s. What the fuck are they doing out there? Now, what the fuck are they doing out there? Let's ask the question, over 35s. What are you lot doing? What the fuck are you doing? Because it's your children that's out there killing one another. What are you fucking doing? What was you playing? What kind of music was you playing in your house? What kind of discipline did you have in your house? Because I know this. Because I go to a lot of people's houses, not much discipline. And if you're listening to pirate radio, you need to know which one you're listening to, because some of these guys what's on the radio, they've never done nothing with their life. They get a couple of phone calls and they think they're happening. They think they've arrived. And this arrived thing is what's destroying us. That is what's destroying us. They've arrived. No one's arrived when black people are getting killed. No one's arrived. For me, I don't care about anybody else, but if you think that we've arrived when we can't talk to our youths and our youths are going out on the street and killing and robbing and doing all kind of fuckery. Yeah, the over 35s, let's talk to them because it's their youths what's doing this fuckery. Maybe even say from 35. There's those youths that's out there giving the problems. So what's happened to that generation? Because I know my generation was fucked up as well, but weren't as fucked up. And I think most of my generation's children, what I know of, no, don't get me wrong, we're not all innocent, because I ain't fucking innocent, so let's not get it wrong. I'm not innocent, yeah? And, but most of my age group, the youths, them, what come up, they wasn't really killing one another. My age group. But then, decades after my age group, there's no responsibility no more. There's absolutely no responsibilities. You got man that's got 13 youths and all that, and there's no responsibility in that fuckery. Listen, I fucked up as well. I've got 6 youths, and I've got 6 stepchildren. I fucked up. That's fucked up. You fucked up. If you've got so many children, you fucked up. And this, you had them all in one house. You fucked up in life. Let's start being honest about our lives as well. Some of us elders, we want to talk bad about the youths. Poor Seal, what you do for the youths, then why they shouldn't be like how they're moving. Huh? If we're not doing something to show the youths, move forward this way, go that way, then we're the biggest problem. Oh, no one don't understand. Listen to me again. If we are showing the youths them the foolishness what we're doing and they're not moving forward. Why do you think that is? The reason why that is because we've got no fucking discipline within ourselves, so we can't discipline our own youths. And I don't mean take a belt and discipline your youth. I mean, if you can sit down with your youth and talk to your youth. I got 2 boys, innit? So I don't know about raising a woman, but I know about raising a boy, and I knew all the fuck-ups I made in life. So I try to teach my boys what I learned, not to fucking bad-mind people, not to watch people, not to thief from the people who you know, not to want anything what the next man's got, not to look at your friend's woman. I taught my sons them that. These are things what we have to teach our youths. Otherwise, when our youths go out and fuck up, you're getting the embarrassment. I don't really want that around myself right now, because maybe I'm being a bit upright, but I think I've done well with my life. And I don't want my youths to come along and embarrass me. So if I've got 2 sons, then I think that's the best thing I could do, is make sure they don't embarrass me. And the only way I'm going to make sure of that is by doing what I'm supposed to do. And that's the only thing I can say. I can say a lot of things, because the elders above me were fucking... the elders above me, what I grew up under, yeah, honestly, I think my race was the last of the sense. And let's not get it wrong, because I've sat down with some young youths, yeah, some young youths. And some of the stuff what these young youths are talking about, I can't go and have these conversations with my peers, because they've lost on the fucking building sites and lost doing all sorts of bullshit. Yeah, I've been to prison, but some of my fucking peers, they don't stop going there. I went there and had the best time of my life. I went there and organised myself, because I've got so much things going on in my head, never had the time to sit down and work out what I really wanted to do. I went to prison, and I got hold of a pen and some paper, and I've built something, and I've come home, and everyone will see, because I've got this TV channel coming on soon, Sax Gen, and I'm saying, like, I tell all my friends when I see them, everybody what I grow with, I say to them, listen, I've got a TV channel coming on. Your son and your daughter will be welcomed. There's a space for every you out there on a TV station. We're not talking about a one-off thing. We're talking about a big thing. Let's see how many actors we can break and get them out into the mainstream. Let's do that. So I know, like, I could say things because I'm trying, innit? I'm trying to do things to help the youths. I don't know about anybody else. I really don't, because I see everybody now wants to be, I don't know, this thing, a boss. I fucking never want to be a boss. I never want to be a boss. Me, be a boss. Are you stupid? What kind of person is a boss? Huh? A boss kisses asses. That's what they say, boss kiss ass. Don't you know what a boss does? He fucks up everything. He's the boss, and he wants to talk down to everyone. He's the boss. He's going to send you to do what he wouldn't do. He's the boss that's never going to help you when you're in a problem. Yeah, this is the kind of fuckery we got in the community. This is the kind of fuckery we got in the community. The community is fucked up by, let's be honest as well when we're talking, and let's not go around the corner, by drugs money. The community is destroyed by drugs money. Now, some of you fucking mums and dads here, you can't see, you know your youths are selling drugs, but you're not telling them where to put the money, or can't you talk to them because you didn't grow them. Because if my youth's making money out of drugs, I'm going to take the money from him and do something with it. You do what you're doing, just give me the money. Because when you go to prison, none of your friends ain't coming to look for you, no. None of your friends are coming to look for you when you go to prison. But you can be out in a club tonight and spend £1,500 on drinks, showing off with your mates. When you go to prison, you don't even get a letter. You don't get a tenner. You don't get a fiver. And this is the destruction, what has hit us. And the reason why it's hit us, because we always say, well, I know my youth will do better. My youth will do this. This time you don't know what your youth's doing around the corner. And I don't swear for my youths neither, and I will never swear for none of my youths, because my mum used to swear for me. And the things what I was getting up to was ridiculous. Even my friend's mum, yeah, she used to say to me, don't walk with him, it will get you in trouble. But what she didn't know is either one of us is going to get each other in trouble, because we were both active as each other. Just that, you know, your parents see you, some parents see you as a decent person, some parents don't, you know. And I've had parents shut their door in my face because of my skin complexion. Yeah. But in 2013, the same woman that done that was sick in her bed, and her children didn't come and look for her, and I was the only person that went to look for her. And I remember how she dealt with me, but I didn't hold that against her, because when you come from the West Indies, you come here with ignorance in your mind. You just not clued up yet. Or you come from Africa. So I can't hold anything against anybody who said anything bad about me, because sometimes they say bad things about you because they don't know no better. Now this is the problem, what we have as well. People in the community saying my pitney them is this and my pitney them is that, and your pitney them is better than everybody else's pitney. But my pitneys ain't better than nobody. I don't swear for them. I don't know what they're doing. Right now I'm here. I can't see them, out of sight, out of mind. I can't swear for my children. Not for you lot are swearing for your children. And your children are keeping up fuckery. Your children are fucking hurting people who you grew up with. Your children is fucking up that for you. Somebody you've known all your life, you went to school with. Your fucking youths out there destroying their fucking youths. Enough of you that don't want to face these things. I don't know why. Why can't we just be honest and be truthful and know that we could talk about the white man? Fuck the white man. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about us today. Yeah, because the white man don't fuck us up. Stop saying this. You people was talking that you were from the 60s era, talking about what the white man's done. Let me ask you, if the white man had started crack cocaine selling, do you think the white man would be in a better position than the black man? He probably would have been, because they used to sell cocaine, and they was all great. But then when the crack cocaine came in, which the black man controlled, even the rich white men got destroyed. And our picnic them are getting destroyed. We get destroyed by different things. We get destroyed by the amount of money we get. Forget about the amount of drugs we sell. What about the amount of money we get? We think we're better than people because of the money, not because of our lives, not because of what we've achieved in life. Because achievement of money is not an achievement. People might think I'm crazy by what I'm saying, but I believe that making money is just an avenue to do something for your people. Whether your people only be your son and daughter is another thing. Sometimes you might have to even leave your son and daughter out and look at the bigger picture and say, well, if I help the mass and I can help my children at the same time, that might be the good thing. Because the bad thing about us, yeah, we don't try to help anyone. And as soon as we get on, as we say, we get on, we get a bit of money, we think we're better than people. We start looking down on people. And I've noticed this as well, because I've been around a long time and I've seen a lot of people. I've been around a lot of people, yeah, what they're not sincere to what they say. They say one thing but mean another. You know what I mean? And sincerity is what we need right now. Right now is what we need is sincerity. You think about these youths going out stabbing and killing one another. Where do you think that mindset come from? Just forget about YouTube, because that didn't breed no monsters. What breeded the monsters was pirate radio. Yeah, and the computer came second. And then when the computer came in, now YouTube is showing you things what, you know. Listen, I've seen man getting their heads blown off. People send you things on WhatsApp with people getting their heads blown off. How about that? This is not something what I really want to see. This is what's happening, though. People are getting their heads blown off. And it might be funny to see that, but how would somebody want their family to get their head blown off? How would they want to see one of their families getting chopped up in front of a camera? No one wants to see that. But remember this, you know. You need to see something to want to do something. Yeah? Some people's minds is evil. But look at this now. Look at Hollywood. Look at Hollywood. They make films about ghosts. They make films about all sorts of things. All the evil you see people putting into films, that's their imagination. It's either their imagination or it's something they've done. Now, you don't realize when you push that evil out there, there is always going to be one person that possesses their life. And this is why you've seen over the years, this station, this show here is 27 years old. This show, People's Talkshow, is 27 years old. Over the 27 years, we've had a lot of people come on here and do a lot of shows, and a lot of experience has been changed and shaped or whatever. Now, out of that, I think a few people have been risen up by maybe even this show, and maybe even a presenter that was here, and maybe a presenter that was here turned this station, turned somebody's life off of this station. But I think this is the closest we go to the book with Genesis, because I'm not going to try and tell you to go to anywhere. I'm telling you to look in your garden. I'm saying, look, I was in prison. I heard them say Black Lives Matter. When I've researched it, it's not Black Lives Matter. It's not. It's another agenda getting pushed. So anyway, from I heard about Black Lives Matter, I said, is it? Fuck Black Lives Matters. Who gives a fuck about Black Lives Matters? You can't think about that. Let's get our economical standards right. Black economics is what matters. When we got our economics right, we can employ our youths. So our youths don't have to go to a man to beg a job. That's what black economics is. When we can have black-owned businesses, you know how many of us have seen money? Huh? You know how many of us have seen money? I said, listen, man, in the 80s, I know, man, I swear on it, man who I grew, well, they was older than me, but I knew them whilst I was growing up. Their parents left them houses and that. I know girls as well, their parents left them houses. Now, that's a start in life. You got a house, rent it and collect the rent, stay in your council flat or whatever. I would tell you this, yeah, I know people what I grow with, and they were older than me, smoke off their grandmother's money or their mother's money, put it all on a crack pipe. Huh? Listen, the way I'm speaking, I'm jumping over loads of different things quickly, because Heru's going to be in there in a minute, and I don't really want to hold up a man's show. Just because Heru's going to be late, I just run in and do what I can do. But I'm going to always speak about what I see. I'm not going to speak about what I hear. I'm going to talk about what I've seen. And what I've seen is that destruction is definitely on us. And the reason why it's on us because we don't believe in ourselves. That's the truth. We can lie about whatever we want to lie about. Can we be honest though? Destruction is what destroys us. What destroys us is when we got non-opinionated people talking shit. Yeah, a man that's got no real opinion, he's just got a mouth so he talks, or a woman that's just got a mouth so she talks. Like what I'm doing now. I think my opinion could be all wrong to everybody out there. I'm not saying my opinion is right, but I just want to point out what I know. Because when I point out what I know, you can do the maths yourself after that. Everything adds up. Remember, even a letter has a number with it. There's nothing in this world without numbers. You know what I mean? My age is a number. Today, date is a number. Whatever your mind's ticking over, it ticks over with numbers. Numbers is what rules the world. So if your child's out there doing whatever your child's doing, he's doing numbers. It's natural. Mathematics, everybody wants to do. You go to school, they teach you mathematics. You come out of school, you don't get a job. You learn a little thing where you can make whatever turn into whatever. But the parents now, they're seeing their youths buying £700 shoes and all that. They don't say, yo, that £700 could have put towards putting a house up across the way. So you don't have to do what you do. Because if you have enough money, your grandfather have all the land over Dessa. You go pick up the food when you have a British passport. That means you can go anywhere in the world, set up your business, go back to your grandmother and grandfather land, pack those things and send it to anywhere in the world. These are the things where we need to be talking about. No, yeah, black economics. How are we going to do it? Every black person has somebody outside of this country. Every black person in this country has somebody outside of this country where them could even get some yam, or them can get some bananas, or them can get some moringa, them can get something. Them never said this, like, money don't grow up on trees. I don't me grow here. I lie them and tell because paper come from tree. That mean all trees out there. So every tree you walk past is medicinal. So how someone will not know that, and how someone will not try it, make our family proud, because we're taking it off our family land so we can call it after our family name, so we can show our grandparents, say, grandmother, grandfather, you never bring a waste man, you bring a real man. you bring a real woman. But people say, I can't go this because they're going to rob me. And you don't need to put no money down. Go and find your idea before you start talking about what people's going to do. Because what I know can be done is that, well, just look at the Indian man, innit, really. The Indian man's in Jamaica, he's in Africa. The Chinese the same. They're all there. And before you know it, all this stuff is packed in boxes and packets, and they've all got names like this. Let me talk for Jamaica, because I know about Jamaica, yeah. You go to Jamaica, you go in the shop, you know, Jamaicans very, what would I say, very boisterous, very up for their stuff, and only buy Jamaican products. But let me tell you, these fucking Jamaican products is fucking packed by Indians. And what a lot of people don't realize, that it says Jamaica, son. It didn't say made in Jamaica or grew in Jamaica or packed in Jamaica. It's called Jamaica, son. That means you can be anywhere in the world, and pack that stuff in that thing, because it's not saying Jamaica produce. It's saying Jamaica, son. And it's not, the money's not going to Jamaicans. It's going to other than Jamaicans. And maybe today, where we think slavery's over, it's not. It's still going on. You're living in London, you think slavery's over. It's never over. Because you're going to work for a man for $1,500 or even $8,000. Well, if you go in the shop in Jamaica with $8,000, you can't do a proper shopping. So this is all slavery. This is all keeping the minds and the people in the same place. Now, enough of you. I've got family in Trinidad. Let me tell you right now, Trinidad's got to be the star place of the world. Right now. Trinidad does everything. Everything. There's nothing with Trinidad. Any kind of food, drinks, or that kind of stuff, Trinidad rules that game. Also, they rule the drug game, but they rule the food industry in the West Indies. They rule it. Most things what are tinned and bottled and whatever, it's Trinidad. Drinks what you see coming out of Jamaica, like Bigger and all them drinks, they're not Jamaican drinks. They're Trinidadian drinks. It's sad, but it's good, because at least it's blacks keeping it with blacks. But when the Jamaicans going down the road, they pick up a drink. They say, "Yeah, man, I thought we'd ting this," but it's not. It was bottled in Trinidad, and it was made in Trinidad and sent to Jamaica, and you can send it where you want after, because it might have whatever. Now, come on, man, like, we can do all of this ourselves. We don't need no one to. I can't tell nobody what to do. I'm just throwing ideas out. I didn't have a plan on doing a show or anything. I've just come to throw out ideas so people can pick up something. Because what I need to let you, enough of you lot know, these you 35 and upwards, know that your fucking youths are getting used by some little pussy on the corner. You see how much youths going missing. You don't know, says some pussy who calls himself a boss has sent your fucking youth to country to go and sell drugs. What, you don't understand that part? Well, you fucking start checking what's going on. And some of these pussies who call themselves bosses, yeah, anytime you slip with them, they do like what the mafia do. They call the police. And the police come and take you off the road. This has been going on for years. Pussies using vulnerable youths. This is what happens when you're vulnerable, when your fucking parents don't give you the right ammunition to go on the road with. This is the fucking danger. This is the danger. When you are not armed by your mum or your dad or your uncles, yeah, or your aunts, then your family needs to arm you with what you need to know to go on the road, because life is not easy. Life is in a fucked up place. Life is in a very fucked up place. I'm not telling nobody I'm better than nobody, you know, because I've done everything wrong under the moon, star, and sun. I've done everything wrong. So I'm not coming in here to try and tell nobody that I'm better than nobody, but what I can tell you that I've got to focus on my life, and I know where I want to go, and I've always known. But then it came a time in life where so many things was coming at me, and it was too much, and I couldn't work out what I wanted to do. So when I went to prison, I say every day, I say thanks for going to prison to the Father, the Creator. I'm thankful to the Creator for going to prison. Because when I went to prison, I opened my mind. And I've come home to try and stop some of these youths from going there. Because I see how these youths are getting terrorized in there. Like I'm telling you, just like how you got pricks on the road controlling your sons and your daughters. these same pricks are behind the fucking wall in the prison. Some of these cunts have never seen anything until they got to prison. They start making money. And then they've got your youth. A man owes them £5 or a man owes them £2 or whatever. A man owes you something. And then, like, say, let's use me as the example. And let's use Terry beside me as the next one. So I've sold Terry something for £5. He's meant to give me half ounce of tobacco or a quarter ounce of tobacco or whatever it is. It's £5. Now let's go back to, a man got mashed up for a quarter of tobacco, which was at the time half ounce was £4.49. So split that 49 in half, and I see a man got the way he got mashed up for that £2 odd, and it was little youths doing it. It was controlled by somebody in the prison that has got their shit together. They got drugs or whatever they've got, and these youths will go and do whatever for this man. And then when they get another sentence and they get shipped out of the prison, this man who they done it for, they never see him again unless they know him from the road. So let me tell you about vulnerability. This is what I'm trying to tell some people. Know what your sons and daughters are getting into, See, any day they end up at Ross Clark prison, any day they end up in there, you won't sleep at night time. I tell you this, or you go and look for your youth and you see a youth with a big scar across his face. He won't. Yo. What are you talking about, man? That's what I'm on the radio, man. Yeah. Yeah, these youths are getting used by people who, and sometimes, as well, some of these people what are using your youths in prison, they know the parents of the child, but they're still using your youth. And when your youth goes in jail with a 6-month sentence and then ends up with a 9-year sentence, sometimes you have to wonder, what encouraged you to do that? It's the man them was in the prison. That's what it is. The man them was in the prison. How sad's that? It's really sad, isn't it? That the people, what is meant to be people, is not really people. They're destroying other people's children. Whether we want to say it or not, or we want to like it or not, we've got people out there destroying other people's children. And these people what's destroying your children actually know you. They might not be the same age as you. They might be younger. They might be older. So my message and my word for today is, try and understand where your child's at. Try and understand when your youth goes out and comes in with shopping bags. Try to talk to him and tell him, listen, better you dress like a tramp. Just give me the money and let me do something with the money. So later on in life, nobody can laugh at you. I watch this, man. I know a youth, This is back in the days. He made a lot of money, but I didn't know it was that much money. When the police raided his house, he had £237,000 in his house. A young youth, younger than me. 237,000. And we're not talking about 2000, We're talking about in the 90s, when £237,000 was money, when you could have bought 4 houses with it. But like Nas says, every drug dealer, his dream is to get to selling a key. But when you get to that key, you want to sell another one and another one because the money gets excited. And this is why some of you parents need to have a look at what your children are doing. Because what your children are doing is this. They're getting influenced by other than yourself. You're in your house, watching TV, boom, the door comes in, the police. Boom, the door comes in, it's a gang of men coming. Because you didn't arm your youths with the right tools to be on the street. So fuck who wants to think I'm talking shit, because I don't care. Just know this, you're letting your youths go out and get your youths into problems. You need to stand beside your youths and do something. And tell your youths, listen, man, that way's the wrong way. This is the right way. Or you're not smart enough, but you had youths. Because some of us had youths, but when we was having youths, we didn't know what we was having. Does anybody recognize what I'm saying? Let me say it again. Some of us had youths, but we didn't recognize what we was having when we was getting these youths. What we was getting was a lifetime change. Like, you have to be careful with what you do in front of your children. You have to be careful with what you say in front of your children. This is what it used to be. Now, the recklessness in life, what people, I don't know, man. You know, I can come in here and say a lot of things, and you know, I can start. You know, I could use people as examples and start pointing out people by name, but you know, sometimes people's private life should remain private. You know what I mean? But why is it we don't want to be honest and start pointing out that we do have diseases in our community? Why? What is the problem? Why don't we want to point that out? What is the problem why we don't want to be honest? What is the problem why we can't see what our youth is doing? What is it? Is it we're frightened of our youths? What is it? I don't know. Let's know. Let's have a word, man. Let's have a word. Because in a minute, Heru's going to be here very shortly. Very, very shortly. So I really want to try and sum up quickly before Heru comes here, because I'm not going to stand in the way of someone that's come to do this show, especially when they're coming from a distance. You know what I mean? But where do we go from here? No, where? Where? Because we all want to point it out and talk about the white man. Why don't we start pointing the finger at ourselves now and realizing that our children are the problems out there? Because not for the people, but their fucking children are even acting as bosses out there. Supposed to pull their children up and say, yo, allow the boss thing, you know, 'cause you see the boss thing, it's not an easy thing. When you're a boss, you have to do things what is really outrageous. And those things are the things what you do. The things what you send other people to do is reckless. It's non-levels. There's no levels to what you send people to do. And because you send someone to do something, and this person so much wants to prove to you that they rate you and they want to be the boss as well, or they want to be the next in charge, they go out and do dumb shit. What is it? What part of it we don't understand? What part of it? What part of it? That's all I want to know is what part don't we understand? Because the levels, what is going on out there is ridiculous. I don't really want to start pointing out, yeah, but I can tell you now, the future's not looking good. You can come out of school with how much qualifications you want and feel good about it, because I've seen a lot of youths that's got a lot of knowledge in the prison. I've seen them. I saw a youth, in prison, and I swear, I felt it for him when I saw him. He was doing a little deal with a man, £200 deal. The brothers tried to rob him, and he stabbed the brother, and the brother's dead. Now, he's saying, boy, was it self-defense? And I'm saying to him, yeah, I know it's self-defense, but it was for weed. You know what I mean? So he's saying, boy, he's hoping to get a 5 or a 10. I'm saying, no. The judge's going to say it's drugs. He's not going to say it's weed, it's drugs. You're going to get a 27 or a 30. And he's looked at me and this is you. Yeah, you can see he was a humble little you. He wasn't into no foolishness. He was just making ends meet. You know what I mean? He wasn't a party goer or nothing like that. Just a simple little you. I don't know what sentence he got, but I know whatever he got, he wasn't ready for it. And he was there with his cousin. Him and his cousin was nicked for this murder. And the two of them, they wasn't ready for this. They weren't ready for this. So some of you people need to arm your children with the knowledge what they need to know, the things what they need to understand, the things what's going to get them through life. Don't knowledge them with fancy fucking clothes, because every fancy clothes what I got from my mum and my dad when I was young, I didn't even understand what I was getting at the time. Now, when I look back at it, I realise, because I do think about the things what my mum and dad done for me, because my mum, she was a triple diamond, and my dad was just a militant black man. So certain principles I had from young. Obviously, I went off the rail because my mum and dad split, and I was living with my mum, so I had a chance to get off the rail. But my mum wasn't stupid. She would know every time something wrong's going on and pull me and say, yo, watch this. No bother with that. Go and find something to do. My mum used to tell me to go and sign on the door. She says, it's her tax. Go and sign on. I said, Mum, I'm not doing that. And then I just kept on with what I was doing with my sound. And when my sound started to bubble, my mum said, okay. and my mum helped me. So I think why I'm so fucking confident and I'm so whatever, yeah. I think it's my parents coming out of me, because my mum was a confident woman, real confident woman, and my dad, he was a militant black man. Now, when I say militant, I don't mean a man that was going around do. I'm saying a militant black man. Like, you needed to know about who Marcus Garvey was from the age of 3 years old, and he weren't letting you up. You need to be able to quote back things from Marcus Garvey from the age of 3 years old. So today, when I look back, I used to think my dad was a bit too much, and I thought he was too militant, and I thought he was horrible. But see, when I look back at what my dad done for me as a youth to make me be the person I am today, well, I have to salute him and take my hat off to him. So when me and my dad talks now, because my mum's no longer here, yeah, but when me and my dad talks now, when we're reasoning, I say, yo, my youth, where I say, we're having a conversation, and you know, anytime I'm around my dad, when I was a youth, he always told me about mathematics. So I'm never around him, and money conversations ain't going on. So every time we're having the money conversation, I'm totaling it up in my head, and I'm telling him, yeah, that's what it is. He's looking at me. He goes for his calculator. I said, Dad, but remember what you said to me when I was a youth? Huh? So this is why I can tell you about music. Because if I can remember what my dad was telling me when I was 3 years old, up until 9 years old, mathematics, make sure you know your mathematics. Mathematics are the thing. Yeah. And today I realize that mathematics is everything. Look at a computer, look at your phone. There's mathematic numbers on your phone. We can say what we like, just look at our phones. Look at the computers we walk around in our pockets with. It's all about numbers. If you don't know nothing else, just try and know about numbers. Because numbers teach you a lot. And I think I've been in there an hour, you know, and Heru hasn't turned up yet. I don't know what's going on there. I don't plan to stay here all day. I don't plan to do a show, but I must plan a show one day and come in so that I'm not speaking like I'm an erratic nigger, because I'm not. I'm a black man, not by skin color, by nature. Yeah. You know, sometimes I come in here and I will talk here and I speak about things, but I speak about a lot of things, so it might confuse people. But if you just add up what I'm saying, don't think that everything I'm going to say is for you. There's going to be one or two things I say for what will resonate with you, and there's going to be a lot of things that you're not going to agree with. It's cool. So long as one thing resonates with you and it can make a change in your life, that's what it's meant to do, innit? I don't want to be talking like I'm better than nobody or I'm the god of the world, because I'm not. I'm just a little black man with an idea, and I think because I have an idea or I have a position, then I think I should use my position to help my people. Well, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But then this is what I think. Having a position is meant to be. You're meant to help your people and do what's good for your people. So if you can do it that way, that's the way we want right now. Right now, what we're asking for is some discipline amongst us. Mr. Heru. Yeah, so what happened? You want me to come and let you in, yeah? Yeah, so why are you calling me to tell me that? What? No. Yeah. This is Heru phoning me and telling me he's outside, so I'm going to wrap up quickly now, yeah. Wow. There's so many things what I could talk about. I need to organise myself really to come in, because, you know, when you hear somebody talking a lot of things, sometimes that lot of things, yeah, can confuse people along the way, because it's, you know, I'm bombarding you with loads of different ideas. But let me tell you, yeah, and if anybody doesn't understand what I'm saying, just say thanks to Power Jam, Station FM, and Rinse Radio, and there's a few more, but let's just talk about those 3 stations, what I think destroyed the black community. Say what you like. I don't care who hates me. Who cares? Can I be honest? These people are the people behind the destruction in the streets with our children. Our children was guided by music and not guided by our family. Our family needs to guide us. We don't need to worry about what they learn in school. We need to worry about what they learn from us. You know, this is the problem. And the boss has just walked in, the main speaker for the day. I'm sure he's going to try and make me cover his spot, but I'm not going to do that because I didn't have a plan for that. And he's going to say he didn't have a plan, but this is his spot, you know. And I'd love to be doing a talk show every week, once a week. I would love to do it, but I have so many things what I want to do. So I'm going to wrap up and leave now. But listen to what I'm saying, though. Yeah, we've got a online stroke free view when our license comes through, TV channel coming on. So we're looking for all cameramen, not some cameramen, all cameramen, all editors, all sound engineers, all lighting people. And if we can get those people to help, we have a 2-channel TV station coming on very soon. So this is what I'm looking for help for. Me personally, I don't know about anybody else. I'm looking for help with this TV channel and script writers, you know, people that want to be presenters, people that want to do something with their lives. That's all I'm interested in. I'm not interested in people that want to come and criticize. Broke your neck, man. Don't come and criticize with me because I'm not interested in none of that behavior. I'm interested in, if you want to help yourself or help this situation what's about to launch, because this what's about to launch is going to be the next biggest thing in this country. And it's going to be epic this summer. And we're going to be out in the streets as well with cameras. This is why we need all the cameramen. Because if there's a problem in Birmingham or Leeds or wherever, we're going to be reporting it. We're going to have black news on this thing, on this TV station. So we're looking for news readers. We're looking for everything. Everything. There's nothing what we don't need. Even when we got it 10 times, we still need 11 times. Anything we've got 10, we need 11. There's nothing what we need once. And yeah, as well, you know, one more thing before I run out of here, because I know a lot of people are suffering with kind of ailments and that, and they don't know where to go or to get the right advice or whatever. But there's a shop opening up. I think it's tomorrow. Is that right, Heru? It's opening up tomorrow, and it's a juice bar, so you can get natural juices there, and you can get herbal remedies there. I'm not sure. Yeah, you can get the herbal remedies what you need. You know, colon cleansers, I think. And let me tell you this, yeah. Let's do a show about these health products, yeah. But let me tell everybody this, yeah. Every one of us, every single one of us needs to take one of these colon cleansers. Every single one of us. If we're over 16, we need to take one. Because when we was younger, our parents grew us by cleansing ourselves. And this is why people think cleansiness is going in the shower and putting on nice clothes. No. Cleansiness is cleansing within. That's why they say cleansiness is next to godliness. So if you clean your body, you get a more godly spirit in you. You more connect with God with your body being clean. But this is only my assumption, yeah. And don't take what I'm saying as what I'm saying. But yeah, this shop is on 320 Lehigh Road. So that's Lehigh Road, SE13 5PJ. So that's Lehigh Road, SE13 5PJ, 320. The shop's called Alkaline Green. So if you understand what alkaline means, you know it's not a shop that's going to be selling fizzy drinks, any kind of food, any kind of dairy products. You'll get none of that there. If you know what you're looking for in life or what you want to do in life, this is going to be the shop where you can get everything in life for your life. Not everything in life, for your life, to keep your body running properly. Because those of us, I go in the clubs and the parties and I look and I watch. Do you know what I always see in the clubs and the parties? Somebody having a drink, but you can see they're not comfortable with it. That's because they're on blood pressure tablets, or they've got diabetes, or they have some kind of other problem. So they're fretting. Are they going to wake up in the morning after having this drink? This is what's happening. So I didn't give out the phone number because I didn't really want people to start calling me. And then when Heru comes in, you know, I'll be in problems. So I didn't want no problems with Heru, so I didn't give out the phone line. But there's peace and one love in it. And, like, look after yourself, man. And remember this, your health is your wealth. And without health, you will lie down in your bed with £1 million and can't do anything for yourself. So it's no good having money if your health's no good. So look after yourselves, that's what I'm saying. And these over 35s need to look after their grandchildren and their children and try and make sure their children don't bring the disrespecting to their family. Because when your child goes out and hurts somebody's child, what you grew up with, it doesn't feel good to you. I don't know. Let me not say if it don't feel good or if it does feel good. Yeah, because everyone has different motives. Everybody has different motives. You know what I mean? But anyway, peace and love. And remember, love yourself. If you don't love yourself, no one's going to love you. And if you can help somebody whilst you're doing what you're doing, please do that. Because I'm trying my best in whichever way I can. So I've got this TV channel, and anybody that feels that they would like to do something, holler at me, innit? You can phone the radio station 24 hours a day. There will always be somebody here to answer it. And if they're not, between 9 and 12 o'clock at night, there will be somebody here to answer the phone to lead you in what direction you want to go, So on that note, Heru's looking at me, and I'm going to get out of his space and let him get on with his show. Peace, I'm out.
You know how we roll.
Genesis.
Okay. I want to thank the CEO there for the last hour filling in for us, and it's all good, isn't it? You got an earful. I know some of your ears are ringing. Yeah, I'll tell you that. Coming in the car on the way in, and I thought D-Ro's so clever, and I told me he was in bed, brethren. So I expected an empty studio. But the man don't know that if I knew he was there, I would have come in. I said, let go on, D, because you're a thing, you can't do it. But so I thought, nice move. Because, I thought he was in bed this morning when I rang. And, it's good to have him here every now and again, even though you know the thing already. But all things being equal, we're going to use our methods. And some people like to hear that. Some people have to hear that kind of talk as well, you know what I mean? And some people might be adverse to it. But the sense, we're trying to pervade the sense, and that's the way the man runs the station. No bars hold. You know what I mean? And for some people it could work, and some people it won't. But at least you got the message. And that's what's all important, you get the message. So getting the all-important message across is important. So we find ways and means and methods to do it, and especially today we're in kind of a cloud cuckoo land today because of what's happening around us, and we don't seem to be able to pinpoint anything and point out and get a grips and deal with the situation. So we have this platform, Genesis, been going for some time now. You know what time it is, isn't it? It's the People's Talk Show. And the numbers are for you to call in is 07931 2762 and the 32. And I repeat, 07931 2762 and 32. Bring you into the studios. You can call in or you can text in on that number. You can, even if you want to say anything you've heard D-Rowe said previously, you want to discuss it, feel free to do that, because we are concerned about the situation today. And you know me, for the longest of time, I've always been focusing on the community and how we're going to deal with this. And I'm always talking about behavior, remember? And I was speaking about the behavior shaping institutions, you see? So I'm always on this kind of a thing, and I'm always talking about the Jekyll and Hyde. What's this? Hold on. Okay. You live? Oh, let me turn this on. Oh, one sec. Hey, all right. Caller, could you... One sec. Hold a minute. It's not on, is it? No. It's dead. One sec, we're just trying to sort something out here, folks. All right, here we are. Okay, you can call back, caller. Last caller can call back. We'll just sort out the phones. 75, and last numbers I remember. You can call back now if you want to interact. Numbers are 07. 1 second. 07931 27 62 32. And I repeat, 07931 27 62 and 32. We'll bring you into the studios. You can call in and text in on that number if you want to share your opinions. And it's your platform. It's not my platform. It's not the CEO platform. It's your platform. So you want to express... wait, 1 sec. It's not that, no, that. I'll turn on by that. Good. Sorry, caller. We have to straighten these things out. Easy sound. Right on. We have to set, trying to straighten the phone lines out at the moment, so... All right. Yeah, so... Yes. Yeah, so if you want to call in, well, we should do, because phones, sorting out the phones. But concerning what what we're talking about, well, obviously, what can we talk about other than, the issues that's concerning us today, and that's our youth. It's been on an escalation of things. I realized this when I was doing my shows for the last few months. That is why the spirit kept me on that tip. I now realize that the reason why I was kept on that tip because of things that were happening, and like it was a roller coaster, tumbleweed. And it leads me to wonder sometimes, how do groups and organizations get through this thing? You know what I mean? How do they get through it? How do they deal with things like that, in the sense that they can sort of just allow things to fester, who claim that they are for the community, and they want to see our well-being, and have not really taken the bull by the horns, in making an effort to sort a solution. Now, you may say you don't have a solution, and it's kind of weird to want to say things and you don't have a solution, and that's kind of how that's going to work, because it's not very nice. If you're going to if you're going to come up pointing out the problems, and you don't have a solution, or you don't even have an idea of one, I think personally you're making the situation worse. We don't really want just to keep highlighting and stating the obvious. That don't help us. That makes the situation worse, doesn't it? It makes us more frustrated. When you think about it, if you cannot do nothing about a situation, it makes you more frustrated if anyone keeps complaining about it and keeps talking about it, and at the end of the day, there's nothing that you can do. You see what I'm saying? Oh, right. I think I know why this is happening, brethren. 1 sec. And because there's nothing that you can do about it, what happens is that you would get more frustrated, because there's nothing that you can do about it. And so what it is, it's pointless us pointing out the faults only, and then unable to even to make a suggestion on what what you think that we can do, because there's a solution to every problem. We just can't have problems and there's no solution. That wouldn't be mathematically correct in the scheme of things. And so what we want to do is that leaves us to find a solution, or at least mark one out. You see, it's the unbalance that I'm talking about here, of organisation and peoples, and that will feature on things that they can't do anything about, and at the same time score great brownie points, be hailed in the community as a great leader or whatever, or a great organisation, and yet you cannot produce a solution. So the people's mind has been stolen away. Don't let your mind be taken away, You cannot afford for your mind to be distracted or taken away, and then you will unable to produce the problem. So if solution. So if it's a fact that we want a solution, and as a collective we could produce that solution, but at the moment there seems to be confusion disseminated around the community at the moment. Well, I don't know how you see it, but I see it like that, because there's one set of organisation saying this, and there's another set of organisation over here saying that. Of course, that is the order of the day. Everybody sees things differently, but as a solution, as a collective, you'd have to look to somewhere, for example, and you cannot look to the example offered by the for the present community here in the UK, diasporan community. You have to want to know whether they have the solution to the problem, or anyone has the solution to the problem. I think this is why it wouldn't work. But stay in there, got red. See, it was charged, so it will work now. Yeah, so you can call in now while this phone's getting a bit charged. There's a wrong charger in there, Bridget. It's a wrong charger. Yeah, this one. See, it's that one now, so it will work. Yeah, so we have to. We want to have solutions, don't we?
Well, let's just look at this solution. We've had, I don't know how many got killed yesterday, but it was 52 on Friday. And it's 52 and counting. That's beating New York. It hasn't caught up with Jamaica yet, but maybe it'll catch up with Jamaica by the end of the year. And there's other places in the world where there's a lot of killings going on. But remember, in England, back in the days, at the end of the year, we used to have this thing called Police 5. And on Police 5, there would be 6 murders in the country and 1 unsolved. Right now, we're having 50 murders happening, and maybe 20 of them will get solved. Maybe, we're not sure. I'm just making an assumption. So really, and don't leave it to us to try and work out what should be done. I believe that if you don't help us to help the community could be a better place. But right now, it looks like everybody's looking at everybody. No, everybody puts their hand together, even if it's just an idea you can put across. This show here, 27 years ago, what it was started for, not for my ego or anybody's ego. This show here, the People's Talk Show, it's about whatever you, the public, want to talk about. It's not about what I want to talk about or Heru wants to talk about. It's what you want to talk about. So let's think about it, because your cousins, your nephews are doing either the killings or they are being killed. So why don't we talk about that today? How the youths are getting killed, and why we think that the parents should pull their fingers out and start looking at how they can help. Because this is what we need, help. If you think it's money we need ideas to make the money. We need ideas to keep our children alive. And when I say our children, I'm not pointing at my children, I'm pointing at everybody's children. You know what I mean? Everybody. You know what I mean? Just think about this. Let's just look from 1997, till now. Do you know how many people went to school with one another that don't talk to one another because their child was either bullied by somebody, one of your child, or was killed or stabbed or robbed? Come on, man, listen. Let's open up the phone lines and let's get people talking. We don't want no reckless talking today. If you're not talking straight, if I'm in the building, I'm going to come and shut you down. No reckless talking. Let's talk about what needs to be done in our community, because, boy, I can see one thing, that the black man can't even buy somewhere in my community, and it's not the white man's fault. It's the, what should I say? Because, you know, when I was growing up, Pimps and Hustlers was my only guidance. But today, I don't know whose guidance or what is what guidance. But I know Pimps and Hustlers, you know, sometimes you look up to people, you think they're all right because they drive a nice car, they dress good. Some of these poor seals who drive nice cars and wear nice clothes, they're fucking empty canisters. So anyway, let's not worry about what my opinion is. Let's worry about what the public's opinion is. Yeah, let's have some phone calls and let's talk about what we need to do to get this right, because right now it's looking very wrong.
Yeah, okay, right. So let's have that up. Numbers are 07931 27 62 and 32. And I repeat, 07931 27 62 and the 32. And, you know, you heard from CEO himself. You know, but you know what today I learned this morning was the fact that they found a dead body, a body in the Thames today. I got it on the WhatsApp. Yesterday. Okay. Okay, you're live on Genesis. Oh, 1 sec. Not connecting. Okay, not connecting well. And so, situation, I said it was yesterday, but I got it on my WhatsApp today. They found a body in the Thames today. It was a youth, 16-year-old, and he belonged to Angeltown in Brixton. You understand? So I was kind of thinking, wow, in the Thames, and he had stab wounds, and found him in the Thames. And he's a 16-year-old, and he's lives in Angeltown in Brixton, and I'm thinking, you've got to look beyond the physical with this one. It's not just merely society and the lack of. It can't be. I'm trying to work it out myself, trying to get my head around this thing. I'm looking at some youths and they I mean, why aren't the adults doing that? But are they, though, that are knowing what, not directly in the society? Because when I was growing up, it was adults who were always fighting, innit? We watched adults and gambling house fight, man stab up, man rich there. But now, it seems to be since the internet came out, I think, since this YouTube thing and this internet thing, I think it's exploded into different directions because, as I said, we're able to see some things that you wouldn't normally see in any case, you know what I mean? My first disgusting thing that I saw on the internet was when somebody had cut off this woman's head, brethren, and I wasn't even sure whether it was real or not, but it looked real. In countries, sometimes situations in countries are completely different from ours. Some of these youths are coming from war-torn countries, and sometimes we can perceive the wrong way, you know, and not really perceive it in the way that their war-torn countries and their is completely harder than this. So really, we could all say it's not as bad. It's not to say we're going to accept it, but some of the youths, for instance, some of them come from African countries, and where you'd think, let's say in the Peckham neck of the woods, you'd think that it's hardly. I don't know, because I may be wrong in saying this, but when you hear the names of these people who commit the crime, they're African, isn't it? And some of them really, I don't know. Some of them are all sorts, but it would seem to be the most times I've heard it. I could be wrong. It's like not an English name that were involved in some of these stabbings and killings. I wouldn't say the majority because I haven't done a statistic to find out if that's correct. But I mean, on a whole, we have seen violence on a scale which some of the youths have always seen much more violence. Because when I was in Jamaica, when the last time I visited Jamaica and I was walking down the road, there was this brethren walking towards me, the Cutlass brethren, and they're just walking on the normally now. And I'm saying, but this man walking towards me look like he's gonna, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, man, them man that dig yam and them shit, them now walk with the cutlass for kill people.
No, but it looks for me.
It looks so because you're not used to it.
That's
but,
right.
But them man is cutting sugar cane
Right.
and cutting
garden.
and gardening. So them have a reason for have it. Some people I walk with knife in them pocket cause a man bullied them last week or them a follow them friend.
That's why I'm showing the difference, though. Are you walking down the street? You don't see no one coming to you with maybe it's concealed. Obviously, it's concealed. And then again, I saw some more on it. Some youths fighting each other. I think it was he's over here as well. They got this selfie thing going on. There was this battle between some gang, and the brethren in them was pulling up the trousers foot and spreading themselves like they was, and they got their they call it Bora. It's like a game, brethren. And that age group looked like about 18, 19. Is it the food that they're eating? Some of them youths look like 40 and they're about 15, brethren. Is it the games? Obviously, you say you can't blame white man, blame that. But somebody's got to take the responsibility, the flak, for what's going on so blatantly in our face with our youths and stuff like that, where they now are what is it? Because remember, when you reach 16 and 14 now, you're not able to get you leave school, right? You can't get the dole until you're what, 18 or something like that? So then the burden now is on your parents to get you stuff or give you money, 16, 17, 15 or 16, 17, to look after yourself. So I don't know, maybe the government could be blamed there. If you're not making no funds available for youths until they're 18, or they can't sign on or something until they're 18, and you got the parents that is well out of order, brethren. Because that simply means that the burden would have to be on the parents to give you money to buy your shoes and everything, your clothes and all sorts of things, and they just can't do it. They can hardly afford their rent. I don't know whether it's capitalism per se that we can find some kind of a sense. I mean, we've got to find somewhere that we can come from, some angle that we can come from, and to say, well, listen, it's like this, it's like that, because if you don't find nowhere to do something like that, right? Nowhere to rest your feet, so to say, then that simply means that you're unable to make a suggestion. Where is it coming from? Who's escaping all of this? Is there a hand behind this? Is there a hand behind it? Is there a mysterious underhand thing going on there? That's something that somebody's orchestrating all of this. You look at other societies, you compare it with American societies, it's worse there. Colombian societies, even worse there. You remember that advert about the gang? They come to your yard, brethren, and recruit you. So it's a world. We've got to be careful that we don't make it a specific thing, really. It's a worldwide thing, and I think it's human, and we've got to look at it as a human thing too. It's a human society. It's how humans deal with each other. There's no sort of one way this is going to run. Brethren. Because the societies are not providing the jobs, right? Is there ever a society?
Yeah, Heru, that's a brilliant point you just made there. And that's why I was talking about it earlier on about black economics. If we got our own economics, no one needs to look for a job. You can give your child a job yourself. Why should somebody else give your child a job? Why shouldn't you be giving your child a job? Why haven't you not got a family business? You set up your family business, your child don't want to come and help you, that's their business. You've set something, isn't it? Okay. Because what I've realised in life, we always want somebody to blame. I don't want no one to blame me. I just want to know have I set something up what my children can see that they could follow? Because if they have, then that's what we're going to work with. If not, then we're going to leave it alone.
That's right. Yeah. So that's a point we can look at, how we can change that situation, how we can create employment. If the society is definitely doing it deliberately to frustrate the youths, right? Then whatever life we got left of us that's left, the ones immediately after the ones that's moving out now. But for me, I don't know if I could create any employment for my youths now, me my age. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say no, but I would like to be amongst or help if anyone has got the means to do this. Of course, in any way I can help, I would love to help to see whether we can provide employment for our youths if the youths don't want to work for anyone. And I think as well, this is it, they can't all have their own business, which would be ideal.
That is true. No one can. We can't all have a business, but some of us can have a business. Some of us can have a business, and if we think that what the white man was done was wrong, and we think that the white man still got us in slavery, then why don't we show the white man how he's meant to do his thing? Why don't we do it and show how? Because everybody's always looking at an excuse, a way out. Fuck a white man. Who's he got better than me? Has he got a bigger brain than me? Or is he the last man that got a brain? Huh? Because I got a brain. So if you don't like me, that's your business. I've got a brain, and I don't want to use it on people. I want to use it to do something positive. So when I hear people say, "Oh, the white man is the white man," no. Don't talk about him like that, because you're giving him more power than you're giving yourself. And right now, I'm only going to give myself power. That's all I can do. See, it's what's going on. Yeah, it's supposed to. You heard it come?
Yeah, it comes.
Okay. Yeah, we got to just be honest with ourselves, innit? Because sometimes honesty is the only policy. So if we start saying things what people out there who's listening thinks it's wrong, they should just phone in and tell us what's right. Because I don't have a solution. A man that comes and tells you he's got a solution for what should be going on in the community is a liar. Tell him I said that. He's a liar.
Someone disagree with you there, man. That's the one drop there. Got a few texts here. I ain't got my glasses, reading glasses now. I've got my glasses, brethren, so I'm going to be struggling to read your texts, but let me see if I can manage. Let's have a look here. View. Oh, yeah, got that one. And text sender says, D-Row has... text sender says, D-Row has chatted more sense in 1 hour than Abu of Galaxy. Than Abu of Galaxy, who is on every second for the last 10 years. Thank you for that, text sender. Message understood. So the texts are really working now. Everything. Says text sender says microphone is low. Or I hope we have. Let me try to sort that out. The microphone's low. How about that? Is that a bit better? Yeah. How about that? Yeah. So it should be a bit better anyway. So. Yeah, so there you are. It's about having to foresee. We can't go on like this, surely. I mean, then again, we don't want to over egg the pudding or overshoot the runway in a sense where we're making it all up. No, or look better than it is. No. End of the day, it's what is, isn't it? So there must be a way out. There's got to be a way out. It just can't be one-sided like that. When I look back into my day. People say, "Oh, that was then. This is now." We never had. Of course, we had gang problems back in my day as well. In every era, we have that in any society. So it's not an exception to the rule. It's a general rule. Whenever you have adults, young folks gathered in one place, then surely it's an exception to the rule. You know,
Heru, that's a boom point you just brought up, Brilliant point. Wow, that's a good point. But remember, though, Heru, back in those times, yeah, we had people, yeah, what could come out and speak to man, You know, like if there's a problem, yeah, we'd have somebody in the community what could go and talk to the man them and stop the beef. But now, today, in 2018, everyone's a boss, but no one can stop these beefs because it's usually so-called, quote-unquote, bosses that's sending these kids to do the fuckery what they do. You know what I mean? Just be honest, innit? Like, so we've got no one to stop these problems. And furthermore, some of these elders that used to cause the problems before, they glorify their problems in front of these kids, and then the kids watch the internet, and then it goes on and on and on. Look at the Brixton and the Lewisham War. That went on for years. It spilled over into different age groups. Now everybody are brethren. So some people realise that keeping up foolishness is not really worth it. But sometimes if you've got peer negative people around you, you can't see anything else apart negativity.
That's right. And it's the thing we're trying to escape, the negativity. So that's one thing we can do for ourselves. We can stop being negative about ourselves, about our situation, about where we're going. A lot of time we hear pure negativity. Like the last caller said, D-Rowe spoke sense in 1 hour more than what my man's speaking for 10 years. Because you see, the thing is about, you have groups that want this kind of thing. And I'm looking not at beyond ourselves. I'm looking in our own back garden, brethren. I'm looking at, do we understand life? Do we? Or we just going according to our personal feelings? We're not thinking about collective, our own individual idea and persona. We're not really looking at it as a collective. We're trying to understand, make comparisons. I think those of you who are trying to seek a solution should also make comparisons with other societies and other parts to see how it's going, so we can understand what is a general movement, spirit, or what is it? Why that these things are happening to our community? Is it a spiritual thing? I personally think that that's involved in it as well. We can't just look at it in just one way. There are other things that needs to be involved in this, I think, because it's too weird, brethren.
And Heru, look at this as well, yeah. There's a lot of negativity going on in the black community, a lot of it, but we've also got some good things going on in the black community, and this is why the last time when I was in there, I was saying, yeah, I honestly do believe. I don't care what anybody thinks about Dwayne Brooks, because they're always saying something bad about him. He's a young youth. Let's give him a chance. Who gives a fuck if he helps? He might not help me. He might not even like me. I know him. He might not like me in his heart. You know what I mean? But I know my vote is going to him. And I know if it doesn't go to him, it'll go to somebody else. And I don't know if I know the other person like I know Dwayne. I know Dwayne's mum. I know Dwayne from when he was born. So Dwayne's going to get my thing, and let's hope that some youths can look at Dwayne and use him as a role model. We need to use people that are, you know, he doesn't have to be there for us, because anybody else that gets in there is not going to be for us anyway. But we need a role model. So I believe next month we should all get out of our chairs, stop typing on typewriters shit about people, and let's just back the black man for one time. Just for one time. Let's give him a chance. We're giving everybody else a chance. We just need to give him a chance for one time. If he fucks up, he fucks up. But right now, let's give him a chance. If what I'm saying is wrong, then it's wrong. But I'm saying, let's give Dwayne a chance. Let's see if Dwayne can inspire some more youths to be like him. And maybe they might get it right, because he might not be able to get it right, because he's the first man. And plus, he's independent. Do you know what independent means? It means all you black people that are talking about this black stuff and you want black this and black that, get off your fucking asses, phone Dwayne and ask him how much money he needs to finish off his campaign. This is what we want to talk about. Since no one wants to talk about the stabbings in the street, let's talk about getting Dwayne into power, so at least in Lewisham we can have a black mayor where we can go and scream at him and say, yo brother, yo, you see the York them are killing themselves, we need you for the. But if we've got nobody to turn to, we can't go and look at the other man, because the other man don't care about us. Just like how we don't care about us, they don't care about us neither. They don't give a fuck about us. That's what it is. They care about theirs, like we should be doing caring about ours. So my rude and opinion, yeah, is that if we back Dwayne, I don't care if Dwayne don't like me. I don't care if he doesn't do nothing for me. I just care that if he gets there, it'll inspire a little girl or a little boy to say, I want to be like him, and I'm going to show him better. He didn't do the right thing. Let me get the chance. And this is how we're going to start the ball rolling. So I'm asking everybody that's listening, and pass the message on. Don't hold this message within yourself. Everything else what I say, if you don't want to pass that on, don't pass it on. But you see what I'm going to say now, I'd like everybody that's listening to this radio to pass this on. Vote for Dwayne Brooks next month, the 3rd of May. Because we need somebody black. Fuck him if he doesn't help us. We just need him to inspire one of the next youngers to come along. Because all we can see right now is stabbing, killing. And one more thing, one more thing. Why it's important that Dwayne's in there. Did you know that the mayor was there now of Lewisham has put a blanket over the stabbings and the killings what goes on in Lewisham? Did you know that? Well, if no one don't want to hear what I'm saying, just get to Lewisham Hospital anytime from 3 o'clock in the day till 4 o'clock in the morning. You'll see how many people comes in on the ice, and you'll see how many people coming to get whatever stitched up or whatever. Like, this thing is getting ridiculous. But every little black person is sitting down. Oh, we're not back Dwayne. Why ain't you backing him? You know why you ain't backing him? Because you're a crutches. That's why you're not backing him. You're a nasty little pussy. And the reason why I speak like this, because I need to get the point across. Without getting the point across, this is how it's going to be. We're going to always never want to back a black man. That's why your picking of them is in the problems, because you don't back your own.
You know how we roll.
Genesis.
Yeah, Texas coming in fast and thick. Again, I'm concerned at that point about the backing of Dwayne Brooks. Well, if one people are saying backing him, and the next people are telling you that he's a sellout and he's a this and that, the very people who claim to be liberators, and black as these are black this and black that, they are the same ones that are trying to bring down this. I heard listening to a program over the air the other day. They were cussing Dwayne Brooks. Now and one of the callers in said, hey, all these people are hypocrites. I thought, we're tired of this kind of what do you call it? This own opinionated type of thing where they're trying to get the community to swing along in their mind. A lot of them are just like side what do you call it? The armchair revolutionaries that ring up set stations and just to get a score brownie point.
Yeah, and that's real, Heru. Because let's just talk about one thing. I don't want to elaborate on it too much because we're talking about the killings in the community. Yeah, but let's just ask yourself one question. What does it mean when you say you're independent? Shall I give what I think it means? It means I'm going to pay for it out of my own pocket. So this is why I'm saying the community needs to fucking get up and help him.
Yeah, independent, that means he doesn't belong to any of the mainstream parties. You don't have to worry about that. And it's nice. And I met him quite a few times, and to me, he's a right face. It's the face. It's the voice. It's the face that what we want to see. Remember, we haven't really had a black mayor, and that could be a stepping stone to a black prime minister. You know what I mean? That's what we're talking about here.
And I believe by 2030 we should have a black prime minister. By then, I didn't say then. In between now and then, we should have a black prime minister. The first step to get there is not to back Diane Abbott. It's to back somebody that's going to be for us, a black person that's going to be real. Diane Abbott got in, and I'm telling you the truth, she's turned her back on us. As soon as she got in, she turned her back. She was black when she was going up. Dwayne's young. Some of these people, when they get in positions here, they're too old. They haven't even got the drive in them. Don't stop Dwayne because he's young. Help him, because you can keep the fire burning in him. The little fire, what he's got left in him, he's young, and that's what we need. We need a young person. So who knows, if we get Dwayne in, he could be the first black prime minister. Well, there was black prime ministers here before us, before me and you were born, Heru. But they don't put these things out. There was, black queens in this country. They don't put these things out. But now we know that we've got somebody what we need to support, and I'm going to keep saying it every time I come in there until we get somebody black in, so we can point fingers at him as well. You know what we like doing. We like talking down our own. We like to be, yeah. I'm one of those. I talk down people as well. Because if you ain't doing what I think's right, I'm going to come on the radio and scream. If I say something wrong, I wait for the phone call. Because I'm not saying nothing wrong, so no one ain't going to phone me and question me. All I'm saying is, you don't like Dwayne Brooks, he don't like me neither, so let's just vote for him. I don't want him to like me. I don't care about no one. You think I want Dwayne to like me? I don't want him to like me. I just want him to help the community. Helping me's no good. That's an individual. Help the community. This is what we're talking about today. We got a lot of madness going on in our community. A hell of a lot of madness. When's it going to stop? No, when's it going to stop? Oh, no. I'll tell you when it's going to stop, Heru. When our child gets, when somebody close to us gets hurt, then we start talking about it. No, we need to talk about it before it gets to our doorsteps. This is the problem. We have a problem with not wanting to register that we have problems in front of us. See, one thing about problems never sleep. Problems are awake. The devil is alive. People say there is no devil. I don't believe there's a devil. I feel the devil's in every one of us. There's no devil outside force. There's no outside force of devil. That devil's in you. You can't do a devilish move if you're not a devil. How does that work? You must be a nasty little individual to be that person. Come on. You see your brethren with a nice pair of trainers, you're commenting on these trainers. Why? Because the devil has just come alive. The people, everybody that you hear sing a song and sing about bad mind and all these things, they're a suspect.
Yeah, text sender says, Heru, you are now chatting more sense than the whole of galaxy. No, but seriously, that's a serious point, because I tell you the truth, we have more these kind of platforms where we're looking at, we're not trying to create an organisation, we're trying to find out people to represent our case. Dwayne said that he said he looked at the violence and he said he knows what to do, brethren. Because remember, he experienced that when him and his friend.
He's young enough to know what to do, because some of these people, they're younger than him. So, but he's young and he might know some of these dickhead gang members, so he can speak to them. You know what I mean? So Dwayne's the right man. Dwayne's the right man right now, because we don't have nobody else. We have to use what we've got. Yeah. My mum always told me, if you can't get no better, just take where you have. This is what we've got right now. He's independent. He's put his own money up. Anybody that's got a problem with it, put your money up and show us better. Otherwise, if anybody out there's got a heart for Dwayne or got a heart for black people, please don't worry about me. I mean, Genesis needs a lot of help financially, but I won't come on here and ask for that financial help. But I'm saying this is going to change the community, the borough of Lewisham. So if we can put a tenner, a 50, some of us, we know we buy £700 trainers and all that. If we put another £300 and that's £1,000. If we give that to Dwayne, he could buy some flyers with that. He could pay radio stations to do advertising. I mean, he could pay for the newspapers. He could pay for a lot of things if we was all to get behind him. But what it is, we hate him because he's like one of us. And we don't want to see one of us in a position. And I'm going to always be honest, because I'm always going to be honest. Why we can't get along is because of our fucked up parents.
You know how we roll.
Genesis.
Yeah, all right. I remember watching a clip on the group's thing about this white boy, I think it was, who said, "I'm the daddy. They come to me. I give them their clothes. I give them what they want. You know what I mean? They don't want to listen to none of your liberation talk. But I want to ask the question: are the youths really like that? We need to hear from the young folks. I want to know whether they're really like that. Is that really? How do you see things? I mean, if you ask me, when I was 15 and 16, I could tell you exactly how I see things. And one of the problems, I think, is that our youths are not explaining themselves to us. Because if they can't explain themselves to us, then there's something wrong. There is either, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and I don't. Maybe I'm coming close to believe some of these what do you call it there? Theorist business. We call that again. That they're saying that a vibration, a wave, or something that disturbs our. That's all conspiracy theorists. That's all. But I have to sometimes wonder if that's true. If the youth can't explain themselves, the only way that I would believe a conspiracy theory like that is if I ask the youth, can you explain or show us how you see the world, and can you explain why you see a man and you get in confrontation with that man? Your first thing is to want to stab him, and to or is it that you're taking it out on society? That's what I need to know. We need to have this conversation with our youths. They shouldn't be ducking and diving, as to explain. Are they trying to spite us? Could it be that they have chosen death as a way out rather than life? Could it be that the trap houses that they have erected now are there, and the young people would rather opt for a trap house rather than work their way up? Because if we have this discussion, and their point is it takes too long to work for £40,000 a year, and the wages is like slave. You know what that is? Negative influencing. I'm telling you, because I also feel from some of the platforms that I hear every day coming over the airwaves, negatively influencing the society that they're in. It's no wonder the youths don't want to partake. So don't let these liberation back to Africa groups escape this as well, because they're responsible for telling people for the last 27 years to be negative in a society where they need to be able to act in the society, brethren. Right? They need to be able to partake of the services of the society that they're in, because they are in a society, whether they like it or not. But because of some of the negative influences coming from these back to Africa groups, right, that does not enable them to be able to even look at a problem and say, look, I'm going to be, I want to do this and I want to do that. And but I have to do this, but because they're saying it's negative, don't do this, don't do that, forget about this, don't trust this, don't trust that, and then they end up not doing anything, because as far as they're concerned, the adults are telling them not to trust the society that they're in. Don't bother getting no education. Education is this, education is that, and they're not supposed to bother with be intellectual. And don't trust no white man. Go back to Africa. Do this and do that, and this Africa. And it's no wonder. Then they turn around and say, why are the youths looking at things? That's why it's important to have a conversation with them. It would be nice to even say to them, all right, what's your real opinion? Why are you... Because up to now we're guessing, and they're very quiet. If I did anything when I was young, if I get involved in a war, I can explain why I'm going down the road. Why am I going to get into this fight? Me and my brethren were fighting a lot of skinheads back in the day. And I knew, I understood why I was getting involved in a war. Because my brethren and me, we stood side by side, brethren. Side by side. We know why we was fighting. PDC in Brixton, they call it, the name PDC call it the poverty-driven children. So they quite understand why their gang... their gang is called that particular name, because of the poverty-driven children. So they're trying to say it's poverty that's driving. You're live on Genesis. Yeah, hello? Call it, you're live. Yep, you're live, mate.
Okay. I'd like to make a few points.
Yeah.
So let's start off.
You better turn your device down, will you?
Yeah, I just did. I'd like to make a few points. Because I've been making a few points over the years, and I've been shouted down for one reason or somebody else to speak or whatever. When you cook a stew, if you sit down and eat it, remember that. If you cook a stew, you eat it. So as far as I am concerned, I don't put your station above the other station. My partner energy, as a man would say from the other station. You don't want to calm alone. You want to be. I don't understand that for starters. Number two, I told you about this point of worship.
Well under 1 second.
Hold on,
If you've got something to say,
Let me finish.
just say what you're saying, and don't go around and start accusing us that we're. Just say what you're saying. If you've got something to say about something.
Well, yeah, I'm doing it. Just
I just don't do it. I just don't do it because I have a station. So, because I could come on here and speak about everyone because I watch everyone, innit? So it's not in my remit to be talking about people. It's about people out there, innocent people talking, not about me talking. My opinion doesn't count. What opinion does count? Your opinion
Let me
counts.
interject. I'm going to call you. I'm going to say, I am about to lay out my arguments. I'm about to lay out my arguments. And on those points I make, feel free to take a pot shot at them. Please hear them. And then think, I disagree with that, you're right on that, I disagree with this, and are you saying blah, blah, blah on that point? But before I make any point, let's not jump the gun. As I've said, if you cook a stew, you taste it, you eat it. And if you do not understand that, I can't help you. But what I will use the medium for, this medium of phoning into the radio station, this medium where it's a platform where you can educate and other people abuse it, and some of your own guys on this radio station abuse it. I won't push the real points. So therefore, it seems like it comes out of the ether, this problem.
Hello, today we're not holding back no talk. So if there's somebody what needs to be addressed, just address them, man. Yeah, just address it. Just address it. Don't be talking under your breath. Today ain't about.
I'm not. Everyone can hear what I'm saying.
Let me tell you what I'm saying. Let me tell you what I'm saying. Let me tell you what I'm saying. We've had 52 people killed. I think out of 52 people, 41 of them are black. I think it's 41 are black. Now, you see everything apart from them sort of conversations, it's not really necessary. But if there's somebody on this station especially, I don't give a fuck about anybody else's station, on this station, if there's somebody that is playing up, I would like the public to phone up in this show, in this show, not in no other show, in this show, and tell people what this person's doing, what's wrong. Because this is the People's Talk Show. And yes, you do come on and try and change it all the time when you come on. But today, it's about, if there's something wrong going on in the community, that's what I want to hear about. I don't want to hear about different politics, what doesn't match what we're talking about. Let's just keep it matched and everything will be all right. Because I've had enough. Because every time someone gets killed, I know the parents. Either the one that done the killing or the one that been killed. I don't want to hear this no more. I've had enough of it. And because I can see the honesty and the truthful of what's really going on, I can see that people are using this thing and abusing this thing. They're using
I've seen a lot of these guys being shotted out. I actually turn the TV off. I don't want to hear it. I know what the problem is. I know how it is and what it is. So I'm going to ask you, you personally, since you put up, you're speaking now, and you have some influence, you own the station. I'm going to ask you, straight up, you, right?
Yeah,
and we can get somewhere because I've been upfront and honest to ask you a question.
Yeah,
have you ever heard of Tavistock, the Tavistock Institute?
Over Labrador Grove or the one in Alston?
The Tavistock Institute, have you heard of them?
What are you talking about? Is he talking about some governmental stuff? Brother, I don't give a fuck about them things. Yeah, listen. With all due respect.
Listen. With all due respect.
Let me make my point clear. Let me tell you, you touched on a point earlier on about radio. Yeah, we know what radio is. Radio is a propaganda machine. Yeah, radio is what can control the minds of people without seeing them. TV.
Can I interject on that?
Hold on. TV is a brainwashing material. So this is why I think that Genesis and the people behind Genesis are really for the people. So we're going to make things where we don't be teaching you about things it's not necessary. We won't be doing Nike adverts. That's for a start. And I'm telling you, this channel, when it comes on, this TV channel, when it comes on, Nike will have to advertise with us, because it will. Don't worry, the advertising and the marketing behind it is going to be awesome. This is why there's no marketing done for Genesis yet. It's going to be done after the TV station comes on, or maybe before. For this reason.
Well, I have no problem with your ambitions. That's not what I'm talking about.
Not my ambition.
And I'm sure.
I'm not talking about my ambition, because if I'm talking about my ambition, that means it's me on my own. No, it's not me on my own. It's collectively.
Okay.
A lot of people around this station and around the TV station, which also has a voice. Because there's nobody.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Let me get my point across. Let me get my point across. Nobody on this station is governed by anyone. Yeah. When you come on to do a talk show, you say what you want to say. I mean, remember this.
I wish I could.
The station is the station, yeah? And nobody should be held. I can't be held responsible for what anybody says to you when you phone up. Or for the music, what some of these presenters play. You notice they've gone now.
Well, you can. You actually can sanction them and say, well, I don't want the type of music. You can, because you're the boss.
Hello, you can see.
Are you not the boss?
You can see what's happened. No, you see bosses, yeah? Bosses have...
No, I'm asking you.
No,
is Genesis not you? Are you not the champion, the forerunner, the pallbearer, the torch lighter, the CEO of Genesis? I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I don't know.
I've seen a lot of people give you a lot of credit, and I think I've heard you say, well, boy, are you? I'm going to buy a TV station and ray. So all I'm asking is you the man? If you the man, then you can say. And people have to say, well, I'll do what boss says.
What matters if I'm the man or not? What does that matter? Yeah, I'm the man.
Okay. I heard you. Let me make the bigger point I was making in the first place, because you said I don't really business. So can you put that phone to Heru? I want to hear him on this question.
Heru's gone out of the room. Go on.
Okay, I'm going to ask this question regardless. I want a decent answer. I want to hear I don't care about. And if you don't care, you don't care about. Don't even raise this issue about shooting in the community. That's number one. Do you know anybody in that shooter is a female there? She might be the bravest one out there, or have some intel, or some. Do you know anything about the Tavistock Institute?
Brother, I don't want to be rude to you, because I'm a man who'll tell you something wrong. You get me? I just want to be sensible. I don't know about it. I don't care about it. What I care about...
Then you move aside and let somebody else answer. Because there's a leading question. Do you know what a leading question is?
No, I'm not really.
I am exploring whether...
Well, there you are, folks. Now we've got LMB in the studio with us here to join in with us. Sorry about that, Reese, but that was the governor he was talking to, and he weren't too happy about that. He was. So sometimes it's good to take it easy, brethren. I'm going to give LMB a mic.
I think maybe you should play some music, right?
Yeah, first?
Yeah.
No, people's talk show, they like it. Oh, okay. Right on, here's the mic, yeah. Yes.
This is the
Yeah, what's your bottom part?
the weirdest introduction I've ever had.
Because we didn't know you.
Good afternoon, everybody that's tuned in. Good afternoon. My name is Ellen B. I am a mentor and youth practitioner and owner of the Mentoring Lab, which is a youth organisation. We are based in Hackney. Our studio is in Haringey, and we're currently doing some work in Greenwich. I hear the tension in the air, and I think the beauty of having real and raw radio, which is what I call community radio stations, is that you can really hear what's going on in the streets in the studio as well. And I think I was just introduced to that. I'm like, where do I go from there? Where do I go from here?
I'll tell you where. No, what it was, right? True, as I said, I didn't know anyway. This is playing by ear at the moment, isn't it, really? Which is good, because we weren't told. You know what I mean? Which is good.
No one told you I was.
No, it doesn't matter, because you're here, and which is good.
Okay.
So It's a usual thing we hear with the talk show. We're like that. They like that. They're very, intensive, and they're very passionate about what they say. So you don't excuse it for a rule.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe the exception.
Well, you know what? I'm from the community. I'm one of us, so we get it. I get it. And for the gentleman that just called in, I don't think you should take anything personally. At the moment, tensions are high.
You're live? Sorry.
Yo, big man, Mike, you're off mod suite.
Go on, Mikey.
Everything nice. I'm listening to the show, and for the last who just phoned in, yeah?
Yeah.
The CEO, you know how Dennis handling his thing is well, but the thing is, yeah, I'm a DJ on Genesis, over 10 years, yeah? We are governed, yeah? And Dennis is a thing who likes to keep his content real, yeah?
Dennis is a
DJs, that's true. And there's certain amount of tunes that is out on the market that we can't play because
on Genesis Radio.
Management don't want them played. And we have to abide by that. Because I don't want this caller to feel that there's no order in Genesis, that the DJs them come and they do what they want and everybody it's just one great big house party. Do you understand where I'm coming?
Can I say something to the caller? I don't know can he hear me? I've worked in...
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, bruv. I've worked in pirate radio, community radio for 7 years. And what I would say is, I think the owners of the stations take it for granted of the power that they have on the street. So oftentimes, we could have more shows and more music and more events that help to empower the community. But it seems like pirate radio is really just about the music. So it's good. It's good to know which stations you can go for certain music and which stations you can go to for good talk. But oftentimes, no, look, can I be real? Can I be real?
Listen,
It's like community stations are dirty. They need cleaning up. Yeah, they need cleaning up because one thing I will say is that the street life comes through in the radio stations. It comes through. So you'll have some people listening. You'll have some people listening to radio who love that kind of vibe. And then you'll have other people that will just lock off and go to BBC Radio 4 or go to one of the other channels because they just want to hear good speech. Do you know what I mean? They want to hear good quality content. And in pirate, we don't get that. We don't get that. So it needs to be governed. And the thing is, I know there's a community and I know there's an order and I know there's a leadership within community. Let me call it community radio station. However, the leadership and the management is not leading enough in terms of, all right, I love radio. Why can't our stations be a bit more like Jamaican radio stations in terms of quality of content? Why can't we have that here?
What?
Right, Mikey, 1 second. Let me just say something. Mikey, 1 second. Let me just finish off what she just said. The reason that question... Before I came back on with this station, I had a Farrakhan tape in Madison Square Garden. Well, I think I watched it about 450 times, maybe more. Over 18 months or 2 years, I watched it every day. Every day, I used to watch it for as long as I could.
Your mic's not in the bedroom. Touch it, mate. It's tripping. Go on. Yeah, take this one.
Yeah, so when I was going to put this station back on, I said, because I had people like Cool Breeze. Cool Breeze is one of the main instigators of this station coming back on. Yeah, and he's saying, come on, let's put the station back on. Genesis is the thing from the 80s, let's put it back on. I'm saying, no, allow it, man. I'm saying, so one day we're sitting in my house, about me, Breeze, I think Minister Rebel, Briggy, OG Briggy, and a few more men, and I said, if I'm going to put the station on, I need to play Farrakhan tapes. I need to play my Farrakhan tapes. So everybody was in agreement. So when we came on, we was playing Farrakhan tapes first. That was the first thing we was doing, Farrakhan tapes. And then after that, we started to do, play Dr. Malachi Z. York and loads of other people. So the information was flowing fast enough around Genesis that we could do enough things, and we could, get to the people faster. In the sense of, the message was getting out. So it wasn't just us sitting down in my house watching it no more. It was giving it to the people. So honestly, when we first started to do talk radio, every station was fighting us. I had meetings with people what said to me, boy, you have to stop this, because you're bringing the DTI out and all that. And I'm thinking, okay, well, let them come out. That's their job. We're doing our job. We're doing our job. You do your job. I'll call Wanda and get it from Wanda. Yeah, you're doing your job, and we're doing our job. If the DTI wants to come and take us off, let them take us off. But right now, we need to get a message out to the people. And the message was flowing tapes. And this show here, what's going on right now, the People's Talk Show, started in March. This show started in 1991. Yeah, so there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things what's happened along the way. But one thing I know, and Mikey just pointed it out, that I don't care about who you are. I don't care how big your name is. You ain't coming on here and playing tunes disrespecting women or tunes what are playing with guns, singing about guns. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear none of this gang violence on the radio. Like, I'm old enough to know better.
You're live? You're live? You're
Can
live?
I just add on the point as well? Burchak there. I was really interested now.
Yeah.
For all the people in the studio. Before Genesis, I never knew Genesis existed. Yeah, I never knew. Yeah? And I was about to know, not then. I had the music set back then, way back. And I first came across Power Jam when they had their talk show with Quaco. And I was educated, but you know what happened when Power Jam got knocked out? I cried my eyes out. I literally cried out every bit of my eyes. I was getting upset. I threw chairs and tables. I said, why was this station locked down? I listened to Galaxy at the time. And then, little by little, I thought, Genesis, what's this station about? I didn't know.
Hello, let me say something, yeah? Let me say something, Bertrand.
Then
I don't know where you was listening to radio from. I listen to me, man. I don't know where you was listening to radio from. But let me tell you this, yeah? And people can say what they like. Genesis is the first talk radio in England. And maybe because you're not black here, you wouldn't understand. It was the first black radio station in the world. Yeah, in the world. Not because what I say, because what it is. In the world.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay. Yeah, do you want to finalise your point, Bertrand, so we can get to, the show's taken a different direction, you know that? Because we were originally talking about the gun problem and all that, you know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, it does link in.
Okay.
Sorry, finish what you're saying, brother. It does link in now.
Then when I started to get into Genesis, I said, wow, this is the best station. I got into play people like King Lion, people like yourself, D-Rowe people, and you're honestly telling the truth, and honestly, you can't be better than this, and that's why I like this station, because it tells what it tells, and people will listen, and hopefully I pray and hope that people will listen and people will stop this kind of aggression and violence and all that, because it's that's what I want to say, and I will go on that.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit and bore any one of you, but I'll go on that.
You can come back. Yeah, come back anytime. Yeah, you call back anytime you want, Berger. Thank you very much for that, because you're a staunch caller. Enough respect.
Can I add to what the brother just said? So I moved from Hertfordshire to London, and when I moved here, the first thing that I found on the airways was Genesis Radio. You guys don't know this. So my name is Ellen B. If you've just tuned in, I briefly had a show last year called Route 38. Myself and a group of young people would come on each week, and it was a short-term thing, but it was lovely to be on. And I was inspired by Genesis Radio because of the talk and because of the information that they would give out. And I remember Dr. X on a Sunday night, and I would listen until stupid o'clock in the morning, knowing that I've got uni the next day, but I would listen. And I think that was the standard for me of community radio. But what happened over the years, once I actually started to do radio shows on community radio, is that I saw whatever it was on the streets that we were trying to combat actually in the community radio structure itself. So, for instance, people wouldn't be like consciously aware of what they'd be saying over the airways, and people would play music that would just incite violence or just slack behavior, right? And I think it's really important that when we're talking about what's happening on the streets, that community radios are included in this, all right? We don't have any radio station that tells our story from our perspective with us as in the forefront, with a care for what we're doing, what we've been through, and where we're going to be going. So I just got distracted a little bit. Yeah. So when it comes to community radio has a role in this. Find some people who can produce radio shows, high quality radio shows or radio productions, right? They don't have to be in the studio at the same time as producing this, as presenting the show, but they can go out and create shows where people in the community can hear what's going on, right? That speaks about us, for us, and empowers us. Because I was listening to a mainstream radio station, and they were speaking about what happened with. Okay, take the call.
Sorry about that. I did stop to interrupt you.
Genesis, People Show.
You're live. Hello, caller.
No.
Probably gone away. Caller, you there?
He's gone. Okay. I was listening to a show which was basically
that's all.
A mainstream show, which was basically talking about what happened with Oxfam, right? And what happened with the top guy there in Oxfam who was caught using prostitutes. And I heard.
You're live on Genesis.
Hello.
Yep.
Yeah. I gathered that over this weekend, a lot of talking heads were going to be talking about rising gun crime, gang crime, and all the rest of it. And I saw it coming. And I see the people trotted out, the usual faces, the usual names, they get money.
Reese, sorry, Reese, can I ask you, please, to explain, because you didn't get a chance to explain Tavistock, yeah? Because I know it's important, because it links.
I was leading to that. Thank you for doing that. I really do, if only you guys would listen. Yeah. I just learn a lot.
I agree. But the thing is,
you learn a heck of a lot.
There's a lot of emotion.
Now, I asked the question. Sorry, Miss, I will get to you, and I lay myself prostrate to the female intelligentsia. I have nothing against the female. Contrary to what they want to tell you, listen, learn. Don't listen, get emotional, you stifle an argument. So my point was, Heru, have you heard of the Tavistock Institute?
No, let's explain what you mean by Tavistock Institute. So we all can know, you know what I mean?
That's a question. Have you heard of them?
No, I haven't. I've heard of them. I've heard of them before, but I forgot what they represent.
Okay. since you're not aware, and many people are not aware, you said it yourself, so I am actually educating you, right? So don't take it personal, you admitted it. Now, in this society, things work. Things appear not to work, but they're working. I've said it before, and Heru, tell me if I'm lying. No nation rises beyond its scholars and educators.
True.
I've said that for years, right? Your philosophers and your scholars. No nation rises until they understand.
Listen to me, man. Just get to your point.
Bro, I'm making a point. If you don't mind.
I'm talking about life today, yeah? I haven't got the time.
So am I. So am I.
No,
so am
brother,
I.
you're taking too long to get to your point. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah?
Sorry.
Get to your point. Just get to your point so we can move on.
Yeah, I comprehend. I'm an academic.
I think
And a bigger degree, and a bigger degree. I am sorry, but I'm trying to cure something. I'm trying to solve something. In order to do so, it takes a process of A, B, C. I don't jump to C. I take you from A to B to C. It's called life lessons. Lesson learning. I don't mean to be disrespectful.
Can I tell you
but
something?
if I was
You're not
talking
getting
to someone
20
on a
minutes
football
today.
site,
You see, once it gets
they
to
would
7
go,
minutes, you're getting cut off. So get to your point quickly.
it's not a quick point. This is a big problem. It's a serious problem, bro. Even you understand that it's a serious problem, so therefore it needs serious minds to tackle that problem and give you a historicity about where it started, who's doing what. That makes you act the way you are. You think you're free. You think you actually
Listen
think,
to me, brother. Listen
you
to me.
think you're making
Listen
your
to me,
mind up and
brother.
you're speaking
Listen to me.
yourself.
Listen to me.
You
Listen to me.
actually think
Today's
you
not the
know
right
what's
day.
happening now.
Today's not
You
the
do
right
know.
day for you, man. Today's not
Well,
the
I'm
right.
telling you
Phone
something.
another day
You
and you can
think
have this
what you're
conversation.
thinking, you created. And I'm telling you something about Tavistock.
I'm interested in Tavistock, but I do have to say that
Thank you.
I'm only. But the thing is, I'm only here for a short while. So and the show finishes at 6. So
Right.
I think what Dennis is saying is that he would like me to just do my piece and go, but my time is limited. So
I'm
if
so
you
sorry.
could just if
I'm
you can
so
let us know
sorry.
who Tavistock is, and maybe we can kind of.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
Right. In our society, they've got one in America as well. In our society, things work according to those who are thinkers. They have a group of thinkers, philosophers, psychologists, the rest of it. You think of the best of the best, they think of it. Think of it in a dark room. It's called Tavistock. They know how. We know from behaviorism. We all know people behave a certain way. There's no social constructivism. That's a Tavistock Institute joke right there. We know Pavlov's theory. We know you could be in a classroom and somebody comes in and says, fight, fight, fight. You all rush out. We know the herd mentality. We behave a certain way. And I'm going to reach right now and pick up this book right here. It's called Propaganda. It is by Edward Bernays. If you do not understand what I am saying, if you do not understand when I teach you, telling you something, you need to take the naughty step. Come out of my class, bro, because you're not going to know. People behave a certain way. We are easy to be manipulated. And people in Tavistock have done this. What you're seeing on the streets was organized. And until you understand who's doing it, why he's doing it, and that you can never, ever throw enough money to solve that situation. You have to go to the head.
Reese, I'm going to. All right, Reese.
Can I just ask that? And I know I'm a guest on your show, and I say humbly, please forgive me if I'm stepping over the line here. But can I just hear the rest of what he has to say? Because he's got a point. And he's taken a long time to get to the point, but the information that he's bringing as he gets to the point is good information.
All right, Reese, we're going to give you 2 minutes.
Is that all right?
Yeah, we'll give you 3 minutes to conclude so we can get to move on, right? So just explain what you got to explain quickly, yeah?
That woman really, the lady in this studio has taken a load off my heart.
That's why.
Just allow me to speak, to make the point. I got a bit emotional because you guys keep biting me. Egotistic. So, what I'm saying is, what you actually see has been thought of before. It was thought of before. When they, I told you this before, that in the 19th century, they, Victoria Woodhull, along with Susan Katie Stanton and all these feminists, had a fallout with the Frederick Douglass's group, and they said, well, you know, we're not going to do freedom unless we, daughters of Jefferson, blah, 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 have our rights. Victoria Woodhull was the one in the 19th century talked about free love, pushed free love. What is free love? The 60s? Burn your bra? That is the beginning and the end and the destruction
Reese,
of your society.
See, this is the trouble. You're going on a different line now. I'm trying to get you to do it because you've got 2 minutes. I know, but hear what I'm saying. But I know, but Reese, I know, but Reese, hang on. What we're trying to do here is to get you to finish your point quickly. You need to do it in 2 minutes, brethren.
To 1 minute 30 seconds before somebody interjected.
Well, you
count the clock.
Okay,
yourself.
so you got 2 minutes now and count 2 minutes and counting. Reese, 2 minutes and counting.
All right,
Finish
so
what you're saying. Go. Yeah, go.
My point is this: we have innate abilities. There is a thing called breast crawl. When a baby is born, if you put that baby on the mother's stomach, the baby will crawl to the breast and suckle anyway. There are certain things about us that are programmable, which is innate. That's just the way it is. It doesn't matter. It is the way. We get to a certain age, we fancy the other sex. There is no social construction about it. But it's the scientists who understand behavior. Those are the guys, and Edward Bernays in particular, in his book, he owns up. These guys always brag and boast. They think that one day we'll never get up and read their work. These Jewish guys will control us. So what I'm saying is, what you're seeing, let's not be emotional about it. Let's be strategic. Look at the work that they've written. The Hansel and Gretel breadcrumbs, pick them up and start to assess it and be real human beings. I mean, adult about this. I'm being scientific about it. We can deal with our community if we have intelligence within our community.
And we do have intelligence. So, okay, so the mentoring lab, and this is why I'm here, brother, right?
Okay.
The mentoring lab, we are one of many organizations that work with young people on the ground. We don't just work with young people, we also work with their parents as well. And we work kind of, the mentoring lab in particular, we work in schools, we work in colleges, we work with charities and other youth organizations. So when you're talking about working strategically, on the ground level, right, youth organizations have been working together. However, I would say that strategically we can do more now because the intelligence of those of us who are working on the ground have more information about how the mainstream institutions work. And what we're doing is taking all that information to empower us as youth organizations. So I'm based in Northeast London, okay? And I know what we're doing. And I'm not going to talk about it on the airways. And I know some people have, but we need to keep it quiet for ourselves.
Okay,
right?
Reese, we'll come back to you. Reese, thank you for your interjection, man. Feel free to call that later on, but we need to get on with the show, right?
Reese,
thank you.
Reese has a point.
Okay, respect.
Because for a very long time, and I was watching some news. I'd literally watch just snippets of it because the news is really not.
So before you start, let's just do this thing properly. Because
now you're going to introduce.
Yeah, of course.
It's too late for that.
No.
It's too late for that now.
Protocol. Two you
came in like 20 minutes.
That's a long time. I've been here from about 1 o'clock, brethren. No, but hear what? No, to be real, it was. I didn't know. So
okay.
So right now, so what we're gonna do? Your name is LMB.
Yes,
correct?
my name is LMB.
Right, and you represent. Now you can
the
do it yourself.
Mentoring Lab,
right on.
Which is a youth organisation made up of. It's actually an alliance of practitioners that have been working with young people and adults. Each of us with over 15 years' experience. So I myself, I'm here now. So I can only speak about my qualifications, right? But I'm a project manager. I'm a qualified project manager. I'm a qualified youth worker. I'm a qualified coach, and I'm also qualified in research, social research. Okay. When it comes to what we're doing strategically, we have more ammo now for us. Good ammo. We have more ammo now for us. And what I've seen is that us youth organisations, those of us who are on the ground, those of us who work a 9 to 5 in the mainstream, those of us who have to work on the ground. And the reason why we have to work on the ground is because when we go into these mainstream organisations, we are the people who make the change, right? It's not the people sitting at the top. It's not those directors who are making the decisions. It's those of us who are working directly with the young people. What we've seen is that it's really difficult to make real change in and amongst their structures. So what we do, and it's not just myself, there's loads of organisations that have done it. We literally move ourselves. Okay, so from 9 to 5, we're in the organisations. At our lunch break, we might be working with a parent who's got a young child who they need support with, right? After work, so from 5 o'clock up until sometimes 12 o'clock at night, we're working in the community. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, and I say that because we work with each other. We work with other youth organisations, and we also work with parents who feel anxious about what's going on in the schools. So, I've just got a call coming through. So what I will say is that for those of you who are thinking, where are the people who are working with our young people?
That's right.
We have been and we will continue to.
Okay.
Please do not.
So let me ask you. I noticed you said some very interesting things earlier on about the need for our radio stations, all that.
I've got a lot to say. Listen, I've got experience in radio. I've got a lot to say about radio.
Yeah, we need to do that, you know, because so that's exactly that caught my ear because I was kind of thinking the same thing. You know what I mean? We need some. As you said, the professional show thing builders, right? Program builders.
Do you mean the producers?
Producers, as opposed to these little what do I call them now? Cult-like organisations now, which don't have a real agenda, only is to try and win people's mind.
Which cult-like
organisations? Like I've heard a lot of stations and a lot of organisations I've been in. They don't have a professional type of approach to their program building.
But there's not one community radio station that does.
I know exactly.
Which one of us does?
My point.
We need to up the game.
My point exactly. So if
you know, sorry, I have this thing about we're talking about propaganda, right? When we go to some other countries, if they wanted non-licensed radio stations to be off, they're off. You don't see them when you go. You don't hear them when you go through their station. So the way that I see it is that community radio stations across the UK, right? They're almost working as if they're working for the big man up top because they're ineffective. They're not doing anything good for us. Okay. They're just blurting out dancehall music, maybe two-piece of house and garage or some kind of boof boof bang bang music, right? They don't give forth good community organized information. Okay, they don't let people know about services such as myself. We don't even think let's go to pirate because we don't want to go to community radio stations because it will smear our reputations. Do you understand what I'm saying? So community radio stations need to clean up their act.
But some people might look at that and think, it's a bit arrogant. We're because they look
arrogant
at them.
Who? I'm a young woman.
I'm saying. I'm just playing the devil's advocate here. Some folks, because I know them, would say, well, that's the reason why we're pirates because we don't follow protocol. And the reason why we don't have...
Yeah, but you're talking about...
See what I'm saying?
You're talking about licensing protocol. What about the protocol for the people?
Yeah, but I mean, on a community station like Genesis, for instance, and others who are more or less like free flow. But
with Genesis...
You're live on Genesis.
People's Talk Show? Yeah. I've always wanted to say that. Genesis People's Talk Show.
It's Mikey Roberts. I don't like that last comment you just made, Can I ask you one question? Which has a bigger force, social media or radio?
Which has a bigger force?
Has a bigger force,
I would
social
say,
media
I
or
say
radio?
Social media, but radio has the potential.
Right, but hold a minute, social media, right. Now, basically, you're not directly sticking your finger on it, but you're kind of saying that, you know what, radio's help causing the problems.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. I'm not even going to go around
No.
I've been in it for 7 years.
No, but listen, let me show you something, right? I do 3 shows, and if you listen to one of my shows, and if there's someone killed, I will mention it. and I will turn around and say, you know what? You them need to stop killing one another.
Yeah, but we're not talking about
you know
that,
what?
brother.
The parents, no, hold on 1 minute, The parents then need to go and check themselves. Check what their kids them's doing. Check them on their social media. Check on their phones, yeah? All right? I'm a music man, yeah? I'm not an information man. You can't get the two things twisted, yeah? We can, as music men, we can turn around and say what's going on and how we feel personally about the situation. We're not talk show hosts.
Okay, so you're taking it personally.
Yeah.
You're taking a dig personally.
No, I'm not
looking...
taking it. No.
Yeah,
I'm not
you
taking
are.
it personally.
But I'm not.
But what I'm turning around and saying, no, but what I'm turning around and saying is, yeah, for me, how I see it is radio. Some DJs do need to clean up their act. Some DJs do need to turn around and make the people them aware that they're not personally into no violence. They don't bring their kids up that same way. You know, and at the end of the day, they need to check their kids and what they're doing and what they're listening to. Yeah? I'm not saying everybody's like me. You know what I mean? I'm a big man of 50.
Yeah.
So I'm different. I'm not like the young them that's running around. But I can see the problem because I've got kids, you know. They're grown up. I've got grandchildren who are growing up.
So, brother, can I ask you something?
To be caught up in that.
So, can I ask you something?
Yeah, go on.
In terms of we are our brother's keeper, yeah? We're all responsible for each other. When it comes to the DJs who aren't playing, their shows are just messy and they're not playing the right kind of music. Do you offer and lend them support, or do you say to them, you know what, I can give you some support, or here's how you master your show. Here's how you produce your show in a healthy way.
I'm willing to help. Listen, I'm willing to help anyone. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm willing to help anyone. And I mean, at the end of the day, anybody turn around and tell you around Genesis, I'm willing to help anyone uplift their career in the right way. But at the end of the day, maybe that's not the way he wants to take his career.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah. Half the time, DJs are very, very, how can I say it? They don't like criticism. Yeah, and they think they're God's gift. Yeah, they know it all. So when you're turning around and saying to a man, your presentation could be a little bit better and rare, I'm different. Yeah, Dennis Rowe. Yeah, turned around and said to me, "Come to me, yo, Mikey, what are you doing?" And I mean, at the end of the day, I don't like the presentation. I don't like this. You need to fix it up, or I'm putting you on a later show.
Yeah.
So I had to work on my.
I like that.
Yeah, I had to work on my thing. He's there right now. He will turn around and tell you.
Yeah.
Them days it was Dennis and Cookie was running the situation. And then man, they turned around and Cookie took me to one side, showed me how to present a show properly and how to do the business.
I'm not taking a dig at Genesis, you know, because I don't know if you heard me say.
No, but it's not just Genesis. It's all
not.
round
It's all
at
of
the end
them
of the day.
across
Right?
the
What
UK.
it is that most people take a man on music, on their musical talent, and not on the talent as their personal talent. You know what I mean? Things get structured around. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Dennis is a certain man. He likes his thing a certain way. So he will turn around and say to you, no, you can't stand slackness at that time of night. You're mad. I don't do that. If you want to do that, then I'll move you to another show or straighten your act up. Or, you know what? Well, if you come to it, I'll just...
Can I put a call out there for any young person or any adult that knows about radio production? It's about time that we put some good content onto community radio. So the brother just speaking just now, I don't know the name.
It's not. See, the thing about it is, you're turning around and saying it's community radio. It's radio along the board.
But how can you just...
it's radio along the board.
It's radio.
At the end of the
Okay,
day.
so
I mean,
it's radio.
I've worked with one of the biggest radio stations. They play grime, and half of their tunes are not edited. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Do you know why I call it community, though?
Across the board.
Do you know why I call it
These people
community?
are mainstream and get paid for what they're actually paying. The tunes and what they're
Do you
paying.
know why I call it community radio? Do you know why I call
Hello?
it? Do you know why I call it community radio?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear. Can you hear us, Mikey?
So I call it community radio because
Hold on. Can you hear us?
he can't hear us.
Obviously can't. Sorry about that.
The reason why I call it community radio is because community radio defines that we are supposed to be for the people first. All right, and that is how I saw Genesis Radio. So when
You're live on Genesis. Sorry about that. Who's that?
Yeah, no, I don't know what happened.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm trying to say, it's like, it's not just, because it's not just a pirate radio thing.
I
It's
didn't
a whole
know.
complete
It's
radio
a community
thing.
radio. Yeah, and I
Yeah?
said
Community radio.
Yeah.
All radio. All heads are doing the same thing at the end of the day.
But
Playing tunes that they shouldn't be playing. Yeah, at the end of the
So
day.
does
It's
that
not
make
just-
it okay? So does it make it okay that mainstream radio is putting out filthy music? Does it make it?
No,
okay
I'm
for us
not
to
turning
do
around. No. I'm not turning around and saying it is the same. It has to be the same because, well, put it this way: who has a 4.5, nearly 6 hours talk show? Yeah, been running over 20-something years. Genesis, the only one.
Yeah.
I'm not turning around and saying at the end of the day everybody's got to be the same. No, but what I'm turning around and saying is right now everybody puts their eyes on us, the pirate radio stations, and not realizing that you know what, the main core radio stations now are getting these big money to play these slack tunes, and they're playing them.
So my suggestion really was that we have more content which displays and highlights what's going on in the community for good purposes. So not just what's going on with young people, the negative, but also the good and also informative things that are going on. And we don't do that enough on community.
Yeah, but Mikey.
We just play the music.
No, but hold on a minute. Listen, about 5 or 6 years ago, we had a breakfast show at Genesis, was run by youths. They came in every Saturday morning and they presented a show for the youths.
How long did it run for?
How long did it run for? It ran from how long they wanted to keep it up for.
So and
Do you know what I
because
mean?
we
At
don't
the
have
end of the
money,
day, because people, just remember the younger generation. They got college. They got, you know what I mean. We've had another young female DJ. You know, about what she was 15, 16 when she started.
Oh no, let me come in here.
The thing about Dennis, he will help the youth. Any young DJ who wants to go on the right way, he will help push their career.
All right. What's your now? Well,
There's
what's your
always
now?
a platform now.
All right. What's your now? Yeah. What we tend to forget as well with the mainstream ones we ain't getting paid, brethren.
That's what I'm saying. There's no longevity in it. So it comes and goes.
So are you suggesting that we get paid?
The way that you would start to get more sponsorship, let's use the right terms, right, is by having better content.
Hello. I understand what you're saying, but your own words. What did you just say about 20 minutes ago? That you would not go to a pirate radio station because it's not the right look for you.
Oh, right. Right. So that's why I said, so listen to what I'm saying, brother. Right? Remember, we're in this together. So remember what I'm saying. If the content of community radio station was cleaned up and washed up, okay, then you'd have more people coming forward to sponsor shows. You hear what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
Listen,
but,
do you know what? And this is the problem, right? I'm saying it as a mother and as someone who's been in radio and as a service provider who could use the radio to push out what we're doing. I'm saying it, and what you're doing is putting up this wall of defense. And I'm saying that community radio station across the UK needs to be better so that they can be a platform, a solid, balanced platform for the community to come through and push forward what we're doing.
But it's not every pirate station is filthy because you have supposedly spiritual. Yeah, they don't play.
But the spiritual ones are pushing forward pagan worship. We know that pagan worship ain't for us.
Right, so it's a kind of axiomatic because you're saying now for 1 minute that the pirate stations are not clean. Are you saying that they're playing filthy music?
It's not just the filthy music.
What is it?
It's the content. It's the way that the shows are structured. Even this show, I'm on this show, but knowing that it's real and raw.
Yeah, that's right. That's the reason why we're pirates, because we don't like to be restricted. We're not going to start reading the news every 5 minutes now, are we?
Yeah, I know, but there can still be
15
a structure.
minutes.
There can still be a structure to the madness. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But there isn't a kind of a way.
Because we're not stupid.
There is.
We're not dumb.
I mean, look, Genesis ran for 27 years on a kind of a structure, which is more spiritual in the sense. I can name. I was in another pirate station that I was in.
All right. Okay.
Go on.
Okay. Right. Let me turn around and say a pirate station, right, is like a football team. Yeah. You're never gonna have the same man, running all the strings every single time. Yeah, you're going to have different people that come in and structure it a different way. The CEO may never change. Yeah, well, he won't.
Yeah.
He won't change. But you'll have people that come in and try to run the station a different way. Yeah, and it's a situation of like, as a CEO, you have to turn around and see what they're coming to the party with. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Before you start turning around and saying, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. Yeah, so it's a situation of like, you got to see what they're coming with first. Do you know what I mean? And when they start implementing certain things and it's not the way how you want the station to be run, as a CEO, that's when you step in and turn around and say, no, we can't go there. Or I've given you an opportunity, I see what you can do, that's not good enough.
Okay, Mikey. All right, Mikey. Enough respect for your interjection. You can interject again when you feel like it, yeah? Enough respect. Bless up.
Stay safe, bro.
All
Look
right.
on.
Yeah, man. Respect.
All
Respect.
right.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay. You're in tune to Genesis Radio and it's the People's Talk Show. Numbers are 07931 27 62 and the 32. And I repeat, 07931 27 62 and the 32. We're bringing into the studios. Now, Sister LMB, I want you to explain what you mean, because you said that we weren't understanding what you were saying.
Yeah.
So what are you at? Because the reason why I say that, because there's a station that don't play dirty music. They play a lot of, like, Rasta music and things like that. And you know what I mean? And to me, it's kind of like a brainwash too. Because if I'm not religious, right, I because the station don't swear or don't use any derogatory statements or play dirty music, you understand? That means to say, is that acceptable? So what are you saying then?
What I'm saying is, okay, if we're going to have a tool as powerful as radio in our hands, that it should be used strategically, okay? And when I say used strategically, it can still have that raw aspect to it, okay? However, it needs to push against the systems that are killing us right now. I'm not dissing no one. I'm not saying
I understand
it's
that.
any station.
You're
I'm
live.
saying it's all of us.
Sorry, you're live on Genesis.
Yeah, good afternoon, Heru. It's Paul speaking. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you.
And good afternoon to your guest there, and
Good afternoon.
and whoever's in the studio. You know, I've been listening to the conversation going back and forth. You know, I give a round of applause to the last caller. I know he don't always agree with me, but so be it. Because I felt that I'm not involved in the radio business as such, like you or like radio DJs and such. I'm just a listener. But I think what he said was fair. It created a balance. And I'm listening to the sister, and my thoughts are, although she says she has 7 years experience, I don't think she's got it right. I think what she's suggesting is very self-opinionated. It's not really based on fact. It kind of reminds me of the way we pass blame. Music isn't to blame for our problems, although you'd like to think it is, but it's not. The brother, what's his name? I can't remember who phoned in, and he was telling you about the Tavistock Institute. Tavistock Institute is something I've been doing a lot of research on, and I know the inside out of it. And what he's trying to explain is that there are auxiliary factors which are affecting the young people and causing the behaviour which are not being addressed. And those factors which he talks about the Tavistock Institute and how they create those scenarios, so-called social engineering, are really the pinnacle of the problem. Yeah, that goes back to the thing. And, you know, they actually cause us to start pointing fingers at things like community radio stations and point fingers at ourselves, which really, when you do real research, you realise that it isn't the cause. The cause is much deeper than that. Because if it was the cause, this thing wouldn't be global. This thing is not consisted to community radio stations. This thing is worldwide. What the problems which we find ourselves in is a global problem. It's not restricted to anybody's neighbourhood or community or radio station. And it's wrong, actually wrong, to point the fingers at that. It's absolutely wrong.
So do you feel like I was pointing the finger, brother?
Of course you're pointing fingers. You said yourself, I can hear your own words.
Who am I
You
pointing
said you
the
wouldn't
finger
go
at?
to... You asked me a question. You said you wouldn't go to a pirate radio station. Well, the only reason why it's pirate is because it hasn't got a license to broadcast. It's not pirate because it's a status. It's pirate because it hasn't been given a license.
Who was I pointing the finger at?
No, you said in your own words. You said we
yeah,
won't go until they clean up their act. That's pointing the finger because you're suggesting and implying that they're not up to scratch. You said it in your own words.
Do you feel like they are?
Pardon?
Do you feel like they are up to scratch?
Look, look. The thing is, right, like the man was trying to illustrate, you've got a system where people are, I really appreciate, I don't know his name, D-Roll or something like that. I really appreciate the history just given there because it even made me realise some things. Look, a brother like that, let me give him a round of applause. You have to give these brothers the respect they're due. They're trying to do something, sister. They are trying to do something. They're trying to do something with little or no support, little or no funding. They're usually out of their own pocket, usually out of their own just inspiration. Recognise that. Because the problem is it's easy to point fingers. It's easy to make remarks and say things like, oh, yeah, they're up to scratch and all this rubbish. But the reality of it is that you ain't there at the night times when they are sacrificing their time, sacrificing the time from their family, giving up their time, putting themselves at risk of being arrested, right? And put in prison for their thing. You've got to take that seriously. So, yes, I do think they're up to scratch. I think they're trying their best to do what they can. No, it's not always right. I don't like the swearing on the radio. I don't like that at all. But at the end of the day, I have to recognise that they are trying to do something for the better. It doesn't always go the way. So you've got to recognise that. That's what I'm saying.
So, brother, before you go, please listen to what I wanted to finish saying. Okay, so putting the call out to people who can produce radio content. So there's been a lot of radio courses that a lot of our people have been on, okay? These brothers who are doing their music shows need support in terms of how to structure a show. But not only that, but also bringing in different shows. So then out of hours, when there's nobody on the radio, we can be playing radio quality, good, high quality produced content, which might be a mixture of music and also talk as well. So when you say I haven't had the experience that the brothers have, I absolutely have. And when you say I'm pointing the finger, actually, I'm sitting here as somebody who is also saying, look, I know I can do better because I know I can help people to produce radio content.
All right. So sister. In reality, right?
When we do okay and when we do good, we can always do better. But oftentimes we don't reach out.
Exactly.
But oftentimes we either don't know that we can reach out and ask for help, or we don't because of pride and ego.
No.
But I'm not saying that anyone has pride. No. What I'm saying is, brother, let me finish because every time I try and speak, somebody calls in. What I'm saying is, as a mother who's looking on radio stations who are predominantly run by men, I'm saying we can all do a better job to produce higher quality shows for community radio stations. And if anybody sees anything wrong with what I've just said, then you are the problem to what is going on right now. Because really,
here you go.
Yeah, because listen to this. You think I'm attacking you. You're not hearing the solution. What I've just said. So
what solution? What solution is that?
When we put our, I just gave you the solution. When we put our standards to where God wants us to have our standards, then we reach out and we see how we can do better, and we reach out to people who will help us to do better. So what I'm saying to you is this: if you've got the information about the Tavistock, right? Put a radio show together, and if you don't know how to put a radio show together, the content, then call someone, call me.
Listen, sister.
And we'll put a show. We'll put a BBC4 quality radio production together, so more people can understand about Tavistock. Do you understand what I'm saying? Did you see the solution in what I just said?
Well,
yeah. Listen. All right. The thing is, right? Okay. The solution which you just said. The reality of it is, you say you're not pointing fingers, but what you've just said just sounds like you're pointing fingers. The bottom line is that look, the reality of it is, you say raising standards, right? Okay, I'm not a radio person, I'm not involved in it, but I can use my common sense knowledge, and the standards you're talking about involves money. That's the reality of it. It involves money because anybody with sense knows that the standards you're referring to involves money.
Yeah, now,
are you going to put? Hold up. Are you going to put up that money?
Yeah, I can help to put up some of the money.
How much can you help to put up?
What in particular for?
Well, you know what? I'm not an expert.
let's have a serious conversation here.
Listen. I'm just using my logical brain.
Okay, so
I know that there must be costs these people are incurring, like electricity. Hold on, let me finish. There must be costs these people are incurring, like electricity, like rent, all kind of costs, right? Now, what I'm saying is, in order to raise standards, I'm just using my logical brain. The standards you talk about, it's going to involve money. Now, it's all right talking all this stuff, right? But it's just rhetoric you're throwing out there. It's just rhetoric. Because the reality of it is, unless you're willing to put up the money, it's just all hot air.
Okay, so
now I'm saying, and I'm not even an expert. I can work that out. But look, you've got, because this is something we do in our community all the time, and I mean, it must stop. We're quick to point fingers. We're quick to tell people how it should be all the while, or what I want, or what should happen. But the reality, if you think that it's the solution, bring up the money, put up the money, and raise the standard.
Do you know?
Right?
Do you know? In answer to your suggestion, okay, if there's anybody out there that wants to know how to produce content for radio, please do get in contact with me, because I've got the skills and I've also got the equipment, and also I can show you how you can use your phone to not only capture content in terms of interviews or footage, audio footage, but I can also show you how you can edit it on your phone. So most people have a smartphone, which doesn't add any additional costs, right, to producing a show. When it comes to the upkeep of an actual studio, that's a different cost. But brother, I'm talking about producing quality radio content. Do you hear what I'm saying? That
all right, listen.
to individuals. That does.
This is the last thing I'm going to say. This is the last thing I'm going to say on this issue, right?
I want to give you a hug, because you just feel like you've had it. Like you feel like people have been pointing the finger at you so much that you just feel like everyone's attacking you. That's how I feel. I really feel
listen. I can't help the way you feel, but I can say this, right? It's the last thing I'm going to say. And it's not just to you. It's just I see it in the community all the time. We're quick to point fingers too often, and sometimes, we've got to sit back and listen to people, like that brother who spoke, who says, he goes back. You need to listen to what he's saying, seriously, because this is a real problem in our community. He has done the thing. He has tried to explain, why he done it. And I heard a caller phone up and just say, it's not as simple as you're trying to point out to be. Now, to me, look, I've got 5 children, right, from 16 to 30, right? And I get it from my children. They sometimes they want to tell me, and I just have to laugh. And then when the shit hits the fan, all right, and they want to come find me, but I say, I told you so, but you weren't damn listening. And that's the bloody problem in our community, because we all think we know it all until the shit hits the fan. And I'll leave it there.
Okay, thank you for that, Paul. Thank you.
People don't know this, but I've been working on. In fact, I don't even want to say too much because it's going really well at the moment. But even when I first came to Genesis, and brother, I have been in this industry for 7 years, and I have done the long shift and the night shift, and I have sacrificed a lot, to the point where I had to turn around and be like, okay, I'm a mother. If something was to happen to me because I'm involved with illegal stations, that's a massive risk I'm putting on my family. So I had to come out of it. But what I have been doing since I've been out of it is producing content for radio.
Just a minute, just one sec.
For community radio.
Yeah, 1 minute. Just hold a second. Let's just to finish what she's saying. Are you finished? What you saying?
Yeah, I've finished.
Okay, go ahead, caller.
How you doing? It's Dubwise, yeah?
Well, I'm Dubwise. How you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm good here. I'm good here. Just
Bless you.
Pick up the system in the office there still, and
I've
been listening to the show, right? And I'll be honest with you, I hear what she's saying, and I kind of understand what she's saying, yeah. But one of the beauty, I must say, one of the beautiful things with radio stations like Genesis and Galaxy, the quote unquote pirate radio stations, yeah. What they, what we're giving is relative information, and it's not infiltrated, and it's as raw as it comes. Yeah? One is for radio stations like Galaxy
and Genesis and any other quote unquote pirate radio station to go down the road by choice. Yeah? Because we saw what happened with choice, you know what I mean? They were by the people, and now they're mainstream. Bro, that's not even tuned in on my car radio system no more.
It's true.
The same with Capital and all them other ones. That's not me. The danger of us going down that road of trying to be like all the other stations in that sense, yeah, the mainstream one, should I say, you're going to lose the fundamental people who have those stations up in the first place. Because I guarantee you, most people listening to ain't black. Yeah? But it started black. So I just want to kind of put that out there.
Yeah, man.
I would prefer, you know, Genesis. Trust me, bro. We need to support the man them more. You understand me? Whether it be financial,
yeah,
and
for real.
You know, it's down to D to reach out to me. You get me? But I'm just saying, yeah. I don't really want that format to change. I want it to remain the same. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Bless up for that, Dubwise. I say I know exactly where you're coming from. Respect for that.
Cool.
Yeah,
I like
man.
the fact that he said he doesn't want the format to change.
Yeah.
You know, I think that everyone's missing my point.
You reckon?
It's a shame.
All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Because I'm trying to put my head around it as well. Because what it is, I understand what you're saying about the music. But when I ask you the question about
What did I say about the music?
No, you clean up the act on the music.
No, it wasn't the music.
What was it?
It was about the content which goes out. That's not just music.
So all right, let's for instance say I'm a music DJ and I've got contents. What do you mean contents?
Okay,
You see what I'm saying?
What I'm saying about content then is, okay, so I'm a photographer, so forgive me, I'm a visual artist, yes?
Okay, right, yeah.
So that was what I did when I came out of uni, okay, apart from my 9 to 5. So when I talk about content, I'm talking about things which can be given to the community or given to somebody else. So you create it and then you put it out there. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Content. Yeah. So something that you might watch on Netflix is content. Something that you might hear, you know, sometimes we have these audio clips sent to us on WhatsApp. That's actually content.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's something which is what we call disseminated out into the public. It's content.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you open a box and it's got stuff in it, and it's the contents of the box.
So it's not talking about what's the content. You're not really talking about the content.
I'm talking about the contents of a show or contents of the radio station. So this is what I'm saying. Yeah, we have a lot of music which is cool, and I know that Genesis is on top of people playing slackness. Okay, so what I'm talking about is documenting our experiences here in the UK, packaging it, which is content, packaging it and putting it on the airways for people to listen to. So it will still have that real life, raw, real radio essence, but you're giving something from a different perspective.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not just what we do. So we do the talking. This is me and you are speaking about my opinion about community radio, and you'll be speaking about, earlier on you were speaking about your opinion about what's going on. Okay, so there's young people out there, thousands of young people out there and adults who have actually trained in radio production and presenting. It doesn't mean to say that you have to stop the raw style, because that's one style of radio. Yeah, what I'm saying is that you could have a variety of content, which is different things that make up the radio station, to improve the quality, so that people like me and other businesses can sponsor, and thus you get the investment. Thus you get people like me. Do you know what my family say to me all the time? You need to be doing radio. I can't do radio because I can't pay my bills from it. Just like some of the other DJs, they got their 9 to 5, they come and do this. Yeah, they're volunteering their services. They might get paid from gigs, but essentially when you're on the radio, you're volunteering. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I understand that.
You get it now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It was just the word content that we were... Okay.
Yeah, you're live on Genesis.
Yeah, Heru, right? I just want to leave the sister with this, right? Yeah? It's Paul again, right? Look, I've never had like I said, experience in radio as such, yeah? But I'm going to put this to you. I've been given an opportunity to join an American radio station, which is broadcasting out of Philadelphia, which is going to be broadcasting in this country. And I think it's going to be an important platform, because I hear a lot of talk about what the Americans are doing or what the Americans are saying, or we shouldn't speak to the Americans and all sorts of nonsense. But this platform is going to be broadcasting directly out of America. It's got a massive platform. It's something where I've been following for a while, and you can take my number, and we can talk about some of the things you talk about, because I have, like I said, I've never really been on radio before, but I know where I'm going with this, and it's not just for me.
So,
I want people to interact.
Paul,
once I get this thing going, I want other people.
All right, so she would be the ideal person for you to link with, then, isn't it? If she's about content.
Yeah,
and all
not just her.
Yeah.
Because I think that my point of view is that we need to be speaking on a bigger scale, on a world scale. That's where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from your little hood or your little. Because I see the same. We're facing the same problem everywhere on the globe. That's how I see it.
Exactly.
So the point I'm trying to make is that instead of us coming on, I hear all kind of nonsense talk. Oh, what the Americans say, or what I'm saying, and that's what I said before. When this platform's up and running, I want them people to come and say the same things they say behind closed doors. Yeah, because I know it's not true. I lived in America for a while, and I know that the same problems they face over there is the same problems we're facing here. There's no different, and we need to have a conversation about that.
Yeah.
So
You're right, brother.
So you wouldn't take her number, or what?
We can do it over the air, off the air.
Off the air, or
but if anyone's if anyone's listening,
you can give your number, yeah, contact number or no?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
No, my number's there. Just tell her to take my number.
Okay,
yeah?
okay.
But if anyone's listening and you really want to get into radio production, you feel that you've got something to offer to a community radio station, doesn't matter what area you're in, then please do, use your skills. Use your skills to create something. If I'm talking about people who know about radio production now, okay? You know that all it takes is a free editing software and music, which you can be a part of music pools. You can be a part of music pools, but you also have to sign up with PRS to ensure that you can play your music on broadcast, and that broadcast can be disseminated and shared with others online. It's only like £100 and something a year to have that license, okay? And then also,
so what's the purpose of that license? Sorry, would you get royalties? You get a check drop for your letterbox?
Your show will literally be legal.
So if anybody anywhere in the world reproduces your show, you get
not only that, but the music that you play on your show, the royalties will go back to the people.
Oh, right. So you're not legal. So this is what you talk about, legality. If you're a pirate, you're not the artist is not getting paid.
Those words came out of yours, not mine.
Okay, so the artist is not getting paid.
And this actually has a dent. This has a dent in even the reggae dancehall industry as well. But you can be legal. I know PRS is currently going through a transition, and they're changing to another company. They're going to be called something else because they're merging with another company.
I heard about that. Yeah.
But you can get subscription and a membership, which is about £100. It might be about, I think it's £179 a year, and you will be legal to play a certain amount of songs and have a certain amount of downloads. And people like Richie Stevens and C Block and Bugle
Alkaline.
And Chronics, they will all get their royalties.
Oh, so they would you then, wouldn't they?
But my point is, to finish what I'm saying, when it comes to interviewing people, so you might want to go and, with what happened in Northeast London just the other day, you can go with your phone and get good quality audio that's vocal footage, and put that into embed it into your show. So there's a software called Audacity. It's absolutely free. You can use it to edit your show. So brother, when you're talking about a lot of equipment, yes, the radio station needs a whole heap of equipment to run, but to produce a show, you can produce it next to nothing. All you have to give and sacrifice is your time, your effort, your skills, and your talent.
The sister, in all due respect to you, right? I know, for instance, on this particular radio station, I can't remember the name of the brother who's in the Green Party, yeah?
Rashid.
He does what he says.
Rashid.
He does exactly what you say. This has all been done already. This is not new.
I'm not talking about just Genesis. I love Genesis. I don't know if you heard the beginning of what I was saying. I used to, when I moved from Hertfordshire to London, I listened to Dr. X. He's the only reason why I think I started going on radio after I did my degree.
Okay.
Research in Caribbean studies.
All right.
So you missed that bit. Yeah,
maybe I
you missed that
misunderstood what you were saying.
You missed that
I think what you're trying to do is appeal to people, young people who
And old.
aren't in radio.
Who have learnt the skills. So there's lots of young people and adults have done radio production and radio presenting courses, but they have nowhere to go to use those skills. They might have used it for a second to get their qualification, but they're not using them. So what I'm saying is we can come together, and I'm putting myself on the line here as well, but I'm producing shows as we speak.
All right. All I'm saying
approach a station and say, I want to make some content for you. They know what I'm talking about when I say content.
You see, the biggest platform, right, in the world is WRL 1450. It's the biggest platform in the world. It's run by a lady called Kathy Hughes. She has 54 radio stations throughout America. It's the biggest black platform in the world. And let me tell you something. The reality of it is I hear what you're saying. But I don't think, I'm not about reinventing the wheel. I think what these brothers are doing out here in their own way is fantastic. Like the brother says, they're creating their own content, and it's not, in the so-called, the mass media type thing. And this is the way to go. I don't agree with you in terms of what you say. We need to follow that. No, I don't agree with that at all. I think what they're doing is creating organic content.
Don't twist up my words, And I will say that firmly. Do not twist up my words.
All right, but this is the way it's coming across. And I'm just saying that
you've done that to make you did that to make your opinion overweigh. We're saying the same thing, right?
Look, if I compare the chat shows, right, with something like LBC is an absolute propaganda joke.
I'm not talking about chat shows and LBC.
So what them by them allowing the community to come on here and say what they feel is a absolutely,
and they screen the callers before they come on.
Absolutely beautiful, and that shouldn't be changing. No, absolute.
Oh, you're talking about Genesis. You're talking about Genesis.
No, I'm not just talking about Genesis. I'm talking about all radio stations. Yeah, because they've come this way. They were forced to come this way. And in actual fact, like we do as a people, when we're forced to do something, we make the best out of it.
Can I ask you a question?
That's what they're doing. And I don't have no qualms with that. But I understand what you're saying about raising standards. Yeah, we all need to raise standards. But the reality of it is, it's about money. It comes down to money. And that you can't ignore that.
I've had 079 says, True Talk, professionalism costs nothing but time. Can I ask you a question, brother, before you go?
That's not that. Well, that person's an illusionary. Absolute illusionary.
Really. Can I ask you a question? What do you feel people can do to prevent their young person from going down the way of gangs and gang violence?
Well, let me explain, right? You see, I don't blame the music, because I was into rap big time. My brother was into rap big time, right? My brother, right, is the number one. What do you call it? They make rap in this country, right? Richard Branson come and recruit him from BBC. Yeah, we was into hip hop. We was into it 100%. When I was in New York, I used to listen to Kiss FM. It was a 24-hour show. My cousins used to make mixtapes. I was into it. Line and sinker. Music ain't the problem. That's just a cop-out. Yeah. Now I've got a son who's into rap also. He's at the acting school, right? He's big time into rap. And I just heard the other day that the area where he lives, I'm not going to even mention it, has the number one in the country for gang activity, knife crimes and gun crimes. But he's not into that. He's not done nothing like that. Look. At the end of the day, right? Like the brother trying to explain with the Tavistock Institute, there's a program being run on these kids. Yeah. When I had to go up to school, my son's school, right? Because every time he went into school, before he went into the acting school, he was being stopped by a policeman. I didn't even know, right? Every time he went into school, he was being stopped by a policewoman. This is the kind of nonsense going on in these schools. So what have we got to do? Yeah, we have to take more control over what's going on in our community, not just about battering down the kids, the children, because this is bigger than that. This is coming from the top. This is coming from government. This is coming from the police. This is coming from the systems they set up. Yeah? So we've got to be more involved in those systems, right? You can't just keep blaming the children. This is happening long before the children come into this world. This has been going on.
Yeah, but listen, before we finish, because we're going to move on, The children thing, where they're talking about can't blame the children. When we were young, we listened to our parents, brethren. You know, I remember that my parents used to be able to discipline me and tell me, right, and talk to me. Nowadays, the children don't want even to. I mean, I would never in my day call a man a waste man.
Right.
Regardless of whether he's older than me, if he, even my father would never turn around. If my father didn't give me a penny, brethren, or didn't take me, well.
Yeah, I understand that, Heru. But look, I had a little involvement in the law and I studied law. You need to go to the Children's Act, right? Go to the Children's Act and look at what it says in terms of people's rights over their children. Please, people, go to the Act and read it. It says in the Act, you have no rights over your children, right? It says it. You have no rights. What you've got, parental responsibility. Now, the question I keep asking myself, if you've got no rights over your children, how are you supposed to control them?
Are you
no,
talking
you
about
can't control them. Because when they get to... Hold on, let me finish. When they get to the age of 12, right, which they say is the age of consent, if you tell your child, right, if your daughter, right, at the age of 12 comes and says, I want to be on a pill, and you say, what are you talking about? You want to be on a pill? You ain't going on no pill, right? She can go to school and say to the school, my dad told me I can't go on the pill. And they say, okay, we're coming to remove you from the home. What? That's what happens. That's why they keep children. So stop blaming the children, right? It's written into the law that you have no rights over your children.
Well, see, again, you'll say that, but when you bring up the child in the way you are supposed to, she won't agree with that, brethren. If you said to her, you're not going on a pill, she ain't going to run and go tell them, say, oh, daddy said I can't go on a pill. What kind of child is that, brethren?
And the brother's talking about loco parentis. Okay, so when the child goes to a local authority or governmental organisation, then they have power over the parent. So if your child doesn't get there, you're talking about parent. So every time a child goes into the school and you enroll that child, you're automatically giving school local parentis. Okay, which is in place. It basically refers to the legal responsibility of a person or organisation to take on some of the functions and responsibilities of a parent. Where the functions really override the parents is when that child is at risk of harm. Okay, so if the child...
Sister, sorry to interject. It's not when the look. It's not just when the child is at risk of harm. You got to understand that if they right when the child goes to senior school, for instance, and when they get a new, I can tell you, I'm not just making it. I've seen it from my own children. Right, they get a book like a file of facts, and in that file of facts is written, these are the numbers to contact if you're not happy with your circumstance. They doesn't need to follow that they're at risk. They could just be playing up, which most children do. Now, if you have a child, right, which wants to manipulate the situation, it can cause a lot of problems. Yeah, now, I've advocated in a few of these cases, and some of them have shocked me. They've shocked me.
Yeah, and it
what
does happen.
What kind of level of nonsense is going on out there?
Yeah, it does.
Now, you know,
it does happen,
it's not just about children being at risk.
That does happen. But then what you have to see is really and truly what's going on in the family, or what's going on in that child's life, because it might not have anything to do with a family, with their family, that a child would want to lie on their parents like that, because there's still an issue. Yeah. So if we're putting the child in the centre of the situation here, they still need some kind of support, because you can't lie for no reason unless there's a problem. Even if you're a compulsive liar and you're born a compulsive liar, there's a problem there that still needs to be looked into. You know your child, right?
The point I'm trying to make is this. This is the point I'm trying to make. Is that the brother phoned about the Tavistock Institute. You're trying to explain that there's a bigger picture going on. You can't just point the finger at the children. And part of the part of this bigger picture is written into the law. If the law says you have no rights over your children, you got to question that. Yeah. You got to say, what does that mean?
And you know, brother, this is the reason why as well we say, so many of these youth organisations that the mentoring lab connects with, what we're saying now is, before you go to, so a parent has a problem with a young child, or maybe an auntie sees that the young child, their niece or nephew is going through some issues. What we say is, before you leave it too late to where social services is getting involved, or the school is getting involved, come to us, because we've got a wealth of information, advice and guidance that will help kind of steer that young person back on track. And the thing is, one thing we have to remember, professional mentors and professional practitioners and coaches that have been working with thousands and thousands of young people, we have little insights and little gems of knowledge about youth culture, youth behaviour, that really does help the young person go back in line. It really does help them. Things that the parent wouldn't necessarily know. We have conversations with young people that they would never have with their mum or dad, or their auntie and uncle, or their best friend. So what we're saying is, reach out to us as organisations first, please. We are professionals. We're qualified. We've got all the policies and practices in place. We've got best practice, and we do have the young person's interests and our community interests at heart. We're not talking about ticking boxes for funding here. We're talking about young people being okay and getting on and doing well in life. All right, and that is our passion. God sent us here to do this role, so we can't get out of it. Do you understand? Listen, we're here for you.
Sister, one sec. You're very passionate. You're very passionate about your belief, and that's a great thing. And it's good, and it sounds brilliant.
And you're gonna say, but. Right? Where's the but?
No, listen. In reality, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, right? But that's not to put you off. It's brilliant. But listen. I was thinking when you were talking, because you said if it gets to social service, sister, trust me, I've been doing some advocacy work along these lines, and it doesn't have, if a child is being bullied out there, or from another person. Let's not use the word gang, because the gang is a media word concept. It's
bullying. It's just like racism. Racism is bullying. Like, let's call it what it is.
Just say this child's being bullied by another older child or whatever, or group of children here. Now, that could cause a problem in the child's mind. Like you rightfully said, it doesn't necessarily have to be the child's family or anything really to do with the child. It could be something auxiliary factor happening out there. Now, if the child starts playing up because he feels that he's undermined or he's frightened or whatever, right? It could start happening in school, right? And something the parent might say to him, the parent might say, "What's up with you today? What's the matter? You've been funny, man. What's happening?" And it might raise his voice. Now, that particular day, the child could go to school and the teachers could say, "What's up?" And that child could say, "Well, my dad shouted at me," right? That could be enough for these people to take full control of the child.
All right.
Heru said in his day, parents didn't speak. The government has taken over the total running of the children. That is the problem.
You know what? You said something earlier to me about doing something
and this is the last point, P, because we've got to push on.
Simple as creating radio content. You said something to me. Things are never that simple. And what I'll say to you, brother, is what you just said is taken out of proportion, and things are never that simple. There is a long chain. However, if parents aren't involved in a young person's life, then it can get to the point where the school and social services have definitely operating on local priorities. But there is a long process. Okay. There is a long process of that first. You can't just scare parents, because that's what you're doing. You're scaremongering. You can't just scare parents. You are. Be careful with what you say. We have to empower our parents. You have to empower them.
Listen, I don't think you're hearing me. I'm not scaring people.
This got to be the last point, please.
Oh my God, I think that was an accident. I swear to God, that was an accident. I was mucking about with the phone. Brother, I didn't mean to do that. I put the phone down.
It's an accident, P. She cut you off accidentally. But I was going to say it anyway.
Someone said that I'm selling us another pipe dream. And then someone said, "Go on, sis, don't let people twist up what you're saying."
There's quite a few there, isn't it?
Big ups is context and content. Don't let anyone twist up your words. Don't let anyone twist up. Yeah, that's come again. And then rap back then didn't talk. What does it say? Rap back then didn't talk about killing each other. That's true. It's in the 80s when it switched. Right?
You're live on Genesis.
Yes. What that guy was saying is correct. Mm-hmm. It is. I've been turned around. How much times I've turned around and I've rang up and I've turned around and said the same thing. Mike, you're off, but sweet again. Yeah? The government has taken the power from the parent. Yeah? Doesn't matter you can have all your institutions and what you want to do. If that child is getting favoured or don't want to come in line, it has to be the children that give thanks for what you're doing, but they want to go down a different line. It's not every single child is going to be wanting what you're offering.
Yeah, you're right.
What someone else is offering out there, they're going to turn around and say, you know what, boom.
Yeah.
I want to go down that line.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes down. Those are the children. It's not every single child going around killing one another,
Yeah,
you know?
you're right.
Yeah? It's the ones that don't want what you're offering.
Yeah.
Those are the problems.
Yeah.
Those are the ones who are not coming to your place. You're the last person they will go to.
Yeah.
They will check Sid because you know what? Sid's going to finance him with a team.
You're right. I totally agree with you. And brother, you know what? You see what I'm doing and what us youth organisations are doing on the ground? We've got different people and different organisations that are working with different types of people. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that.
But
you're only going to want to change if you can't make someone change.
Yeah,
They're
they've got to be ready for it.
No matter how hard you work.
And
you know what I mean? At the end of the day.
And the majority...
They got to want that. And you have certain factors out there who don't want that.
And do you know what they call them?
That.
Do you know what they call them? They call them the disengaged or hard to reach. But the thing is that we can reach the hard to reach, but within the hard to reach, there's another section which are hard to reach, but it's usually the man them that can reach them. So if we were able to, and I know a lot of organisations is talking about this, and I didn't want to say it on air, but I'm going to say it because of this call, right? If we could share our skills and experience as professional practitioners, youth practitioners, with the man them, we'd be more powerful in what we do. Because it's really sometimes when you're not sometimes
when you say the
all
man,
the
then
time,
we mean men in general.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying when I'm saying the man them, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
we
I don't
understand
need.
then.
Bobby, do
Okay.
you know what I'm saying when I'm saying the man them, right?
Yeah,
He knows what I'm saying.
Okay,
right. So if we were able to share our skills with them, it would be powerful. It would be powerful. So when you're working with a young person, you can't just have a conversation for the sake of having a
Yeah,
conversation.
but somebody text.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying to you. Some of them are not listening to the man them. You're going to have some sector out there who ain't listening to no one. Listen, my mum grow me. Who can't hear my spiel? That's the only way they learn.
Yeah.
They have to go and do what they got. There's a course that they're running.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And until they get to the end of the course, they don't feel satisfied.
Yeah.
I'm not turning around and saying that those are the ones that influence the ones that you can change.
Yeah, that are right. And me and you on the right.
You understand what I'm saying?
And I agree with you.
Those are the ones that influence the ones that you can change.
So it's about the ones that we can change.
Once you get them out of their grip and they can see a light out there in the tunnel for them, then things are gone.
Brother, that's
and
what
the
we
next
do.
thing about the radio stations, it's like everybody has forgotten what happened to Choice.
But Choice got bought out. Choice got bought. Choice started off as a community pirate radio station.
Right, Choice got. Hold on, one minute. Choice became a legal radio station. Yeah. Then they were doing their own little remap, how the things they wanted, and then they got 1 minute. One day it was Choice, then the next day it was another radio station, which everybody knows. Boom! They came in there and they sacked everyone.
Yeah, they did.
Because one of the people who they sacked is a good friend of mine.
They sacked so many people. Yeah.
So when you're turning around and saying setting things up on a certain media, do you know what I mean? I can understand what you're talking about, more content and but as the guy says, that takes money. And when you start going down them type of lines there, listen, put it this way, they're locking us off for what we're doing already. Can you imagine when we start to take a different format?
Well, you know what? At least we get locked off for the right thing. And at least we get locked off for the right thing. I think it's something we need to do. And more time, a lot of the shows can just be done online anyway. Everyone knows FM's dead. Do you understand what I'm saying? We don't need to change what we're doing, apart from the quality. So the real raw radio thing, it's great. And
the next quick thing I wanted to talk about, you're talking about PPI, yeah? All right? For a radio station, it's 100 times more money than what you've turned around and said that the station has to come up and pay.
What are you talking about? Who are you talking about? PPI. No, I'm not talking. I wasn't talking about DTI. I have no dealings with DTI. I'm talking about PRS.
PRS, that's what I'm talking about.
No, I
PRS,
know, but I know.
For a radio station.
No, not for a radio station.
The price of the PR.
You guys need to listen to what I'm saying. Not a radio station.
I got PRS myself, you know.
Individual DJs.
As a DJ, I have PRS myself.
And how much did you pay for it?
I have to pay into this organisation so I can play music.
And how much did you pay for your license? Your individual license?
I paid what? £200 for my license.
Well, there you go. So it's around the same figure that I said, because mine was 179, but when you add VAT, it's about 200.
Listen, most man, that's another layer that most man them ain't got. You understand what
well,
I'm
maybe
saying?
If they ain't got it, they shouldn't be on the radio then, because we're actually killing. We're part of the reason why reggae dancehall isn't moving on. Yeah. We're part of the reason why
the artists can't live.
Artists can't live
off
and the
their
reason
music.
why we got artists like Gentlemen that are out there making a whole heap of money, and bands out there that are making a whole heap of money from our music, and we can't make no money. So maybe they shouldn't be on the station, bruv.
Hold on a minute. When you talk about people like Gentlemen, I know Gentlemen personally, and Gentleman has been pushing this since he was a kid at school. Because he gets it. So when you turn around and say that he's not a part of this, he is.
No, I didn't say that.
He is a part of it.
How are you twisting my words? I didn't say that.
He shows the diversity of the business, that, you know what, it's not a black thing, it's a talent thing. Simple as that. It's a talent thing. It's not a colour thing, it's a talent
I didn't
thing.
say...
And if you've got the talent,
listen,
and you can go out there and you can go and earn your money. In fact, listen, you talk about Gentlemen, that's one of the men who don't sing no slack tune. The man that don't really make slack tune.
I'm not saying that. Do you know what, right? If you love reggae, are you Jamaican background?
Yes, my parents are
Listen,
Jamaican.
let me tell you something what went wrong with us in the first place, So we're coming out of the origin of man and woman, okay, and our migration throughout the world. One of the problems that happened was that when we coming out of slavery, we opened up our skills and our talents to other people. Reggae music should be our bread and butter, It shouldn't just be a little money that people make for one song. I should be eating off it, because my parents have put a lot into this country and also in Jamaica as well. I should be able to eat off it, but I'm not eating off it. I love Chronix, Don't get me wrong, I love Chronix, but when I see his production and I know that his production teams are not all black. I'm talking about the people who do the music videos. I'm talking about his publisher. I'm talking about the people that deal with his loyalty.
Gentleman is white. The one of them.
That's
the
cool.
whole band.
It's cool if he's white, But we need to be making much more
than them.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm saying. I'm not dissing Gentlemen.
No, I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't.
I'm just talking about how we just let things go so easily.
You see, with a person like Chronix, maybe the reason why his production is not as high quality as everybody else's is because he's trying to keep it in-house.
No, I think his quality is fantastic.
But people like Sizzler, and the man who won't step outside and won't bow to the
we got to be keeping
demands,
it
because Sizzler don't care if he gets paid or not for
we got to be keeping it in house.
Some of them don't even care if he got license PRS.
Brother, you said something really, really important though, and that's the skills sets that everybody has. We need to be sharing it amongst each other. And I know some people are, it's easier said than done. Well, hear what some people are doing it, because we're not using no excuse. We're doing it. Do you know, as a woman, and I'm coming in and listening to some of the people that are calling, I'm like, okay, there's a group of people.
As I turn around and I said to you, with everything in life, like you said, you used to be in the radio business, but then you turn around and
I'm doing production now, so I'm doing production.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is that you used to be in the radio business, and you saw it a situation of that. Look, I've got kids now. I can't be going to jail for doing no birds for being on the radio station. So everybody's life in this business.
So what? But brother, what you missed from your sentence was, so now I'm doing radio production.
Okay, but now you're doing the safer option, radio production,
Yeah.
Right. So it's a situation of, as I said, people's circumstances change, to various. Do you know what I mean? Certain things can happen in their life, and they decide that, you know what, I can't do this no more, or I can't afford to do this no more, or X, Y, Z, Or it's even some people just lose the passion because
Okay.
they don't think that they're going anywhere.
Okay, Mikey, we're gonna have to go ask you to. Yeah, we have to go push our now.
I tell you,
Coming near to the end of the show.
Your people don't like me, you know.
Nah, man, let's let them love you, man.
Nah, sir. You know
okay,
what,
Mikey, thank you very much for that interjection.
I'm hearing.
Any texts on that?
Yeah, let me go through some text. So 382 said Tavistock must be creates and reflects policies around young people and their mental health and well-being. They work alongside the government. They deal with the psychological theories of Freud, Jung, and Anna Freud and Klein.
Before we go any further, somebody did text me and say, but you should get the family more involved. Rather than the institutions, you know what I mean? That's what she was saying.
Someone said 77 said stop fighting the sis down. She's bringing fresh ideas to the table. Someone else said I agree with sis. 77 again said I agree with sis. We need to stop fear mongering, and there's nothing wrong with upping our standards. Big up to all in the studio. You said something else as well. It's a long message, so please forgive me for just going on. 595 says the show is the epiphany of Genesis. 019 says what a load of rubbish from this sister selling us pipe dreams. Oh, bless you. Another arrogant sister supported by Mr. Heru. Surprise. You know what? I don't know if you're a man or a woman. Love to you anyway. Seriously, you know, when you're dealing with people, we need to deal with faith, love and hope, and if that energy doesn't come from your mouth, someone else finished the sentence for me. You could have said that in such a different way. If you don't like what I'm saying, then give me some suggestions. Don't just gun me down, because we're all in this together. And you know what as well, when we're dealing with young people, we tend to gun them down before we listen to them, really. And a lot of people have not heard what I'm saying. They've taken little bits out.
Yeah, that's that the left-brained fractionalization. The two dumbest are in the left brain, you know, bits and pieces.
Yeah, like
you know what I mean?
it's interesting.
It's not
but you know what?
thinking.
I actually see this when young people are trying to tell their parents what's going on. So I see this on a daily basis.
Okay, you understand it then?
Yeah, and this is why I say parents, we need to fix up. And remember, I'm a parent.
Yeah,
we need to fix
don't
up.
forget, we're in a society that is left-brained, you know, that take life in bits and pieces. So they won't be able to holistically look at things like we can, holistically. So we have to put up with the
Well, listen, brother, I'm sorry that some people are going to call you a fool for letting me chat, you know.
No, man, don't worry about that. What do you mean, man?
It's just like, oh my God.
What do you mean? Have you back here again? Have you got your own show yet?
No, I'm doing production. So at the moment, I'm doing a production.
You're live on Genesis.
Hello?
Yep, you're live on Genesis. You're coming near to the show, so make it quick, please. Go with that. Reese, go on. Yeah, go on.
Okay, I'm going to say this. I've got a lot of respect for D. Rowe for trying a thing, trying to establish something. But I've heard two gentlemen today, and I think if he was a smart man, a real smart man, he would headhunt Breeze, put him on your show, and he would headhunt and give them a show. And the lady in the studio is talking about content. Please don't just, straighten up and fly right. Produce your show. Know what you're talking about. Do your research. Have a production. Have time limits about what you're going to speak and when you're not going to speak and when the subject moves on, etc. These guys don't seem to do it. But I think the capability, I think Breeze can do it. And from what I've heard from Paul, I think he can do it. He will add, both of these guys will add some stellar quality to your show, as opposed to having a 5-minute segment where they can't get their words out, like I have faced. And you're trying to talk about a big subject, and nobody gets it. They need time to develop what they say. Check James O'Brien on LBC. This guy is the most, oh Lord, but he takes about half an hour. When his show starts at 10 o'clock or whenever it was, I don't even listen to him no more. He takes half an hour to give his opening gambit. And I'm like, jeez, don't ever shut up. So,
Reese.
It shouldn't take that long, and I don't think Reese and I don't think Paul will take that long to say, this is my show, I'm your sister in the studio. Shit, you've got variety.
Okay,
one a week on a Sunday.
Can we interject? Can we
Reese and this girl and
Right.
yourself,
So-
and then you advertise.
Can we have a
And then all
two-way?
of a sudden, you take the whole of South London.
Can we
And
have
that move on from South London to
Can we
East
have
London.
a two-way conversation here, brethren? Can we get a piece of this as well?
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Right. Listen, what we're saying, because you just told me that you're not listening to a brother who took half an hour to say something. You said, "Can't you shut?" It's the same thing what you do, brethren. When you're taking about half, it's the same way we feel. So, welcome to the club, brethren. Now you know. So think about that.
He was talking about James. He was talking
Yes,
about James O'Brien.
but he does the same thing.
But
It
I
takes
think you've
half
got
an
a
hour
point.
to
I think you've got a
no.
point. And the two brothers, good afternoon to you. The two brothers that spoke before,
Hello.
I'd be more than happy. Look, I did research. I'm not trying to bring in letters after my name, but I did do social research as a degree, and within that I did learn journalism and how to research, and that's why my shows were always different. No one here has heard my shows, so they can say as they feel based on this conversation. But I'll be more than happy.
Do you have a show? I didn't know that. When is it?
I'm producing content at the moment, all right? So, and actually
Okay.
it's on mental health. That's what I was saying before you just called. So what I'll be happy to do is work with these guys to produce pieces that will not only just go on Genesis, but all the other community radio stations as well. And I'm a woman of my word. So if you both of you, was it Reese and what was the other guy's name? Reese and Paul.
No, it's Paul and Breeze.
Because Paul and Breeze. Because the thing is, we can't just stick to one station because we are across the capital. If we're just talking about London radios, we could literally send this content out to all community radio stations and
This is what they call viral. I've listened to Breeze when he was on I think it's Flames Radio, and I used to like his content there. I know he's done this before. Maybe it was the hours or whatever it was. I think a smart man would monetize Genesis and be able to pay him money and say, look, Breeze, I want you to do this. And also, I don't always agree with everything Paul says, but I do believe in freedom of speech. And I think he handles himself fairly well. I think this is the man, although he says he's not into radio, he doesn't know much about it, I think he can speak well, and I think he can handle the rigors of a radio show. And that's what I'm going to say. And nobody put my hat in no ring.
Yeah,
Can
you see what I mean?
Can I give a message? So we just had a message through from Lady TLC, and everybody knows Lady TLC. She said, "Good afternoon, sis. I'm listening to the discussion on Genesis. I'm female DJ on the radio, aka Lady TLC. I agree to a point with the DJ. I promote UK music as a choice of genre, using the music to enlighten the community and encourage. I do agree with the radio that the radio stations use the terminology community radio is not for the community. We should be a hub for our community. As a mother and grandmother, I feel we should provide good service to our community. None of them do. The radio stations need to come together to make a change and work together to support our youth, teach them." And she said, Lady TLC, and she said, tell them as well that she provides 4 stations with musical content so that it's not rubbish. TLC, I love to speak to you. We can start this and we can do this, you know. I know that people they're blocking it, but we can do this. And
all right, Reese, Reese, I'd like to thank you. We're going to wrap up now, yeah? Nice one. I'll speak to you tomorrow morning, mate. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock.
All it takes is people who see the vision. So, Lady TLC, you're working on this for a long time. I didn't even know, right?
I understand now. So you're saying now then. So what
it.
you're saying is like what you said. The artists them.
We have to continue.
The artists them would definitely be beneficial, and they can live off of their products and stuff like that. Now, once we get that tied up ourselves.
Do you know
what do you say about to those who say they like it as it is? They can come on, play music.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Play
right?
music and.
You know, let me tell you who I deal with, and put the mentoring lab aside. I deal with people who have the standards of the Most High. So if there's people that like rolling around in the dirt and seeing everybody in their family get messed up and dirtied up and kicked up and killed, that's your business. I'm not dealing with that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So Lady TLC, it would be lovely to work alongside you and to push this even further. And it's not even to start treading on what you're doing as if to say, I don't respect it. I respect it. I didn't know somebody was doing that already.
Hello.
Let's do this, man. But I think we should talk about it more off air.
I think
because whenever you've got a plan, you don't share it until the fruits
gone,
are ready to bear. Okay.
So, what I'm saying is that sorry about that last caller. I think the battery died on the phone, so
okay,
there we go.
Ahead.
I might get it, might
We've
not.
got 5 minutes left.
Come on. I don't think we can get it because batteries are dead, actually. Let me try it this way. Okay, you're live on Genesis.
We're not. It hasn't come through.
Isn't it?
No, it hasn't come through.
It says. No? Okay, well, I'm afraid the batteries...
Wait, can I not speak to them while you speak?
Yeah, go on. You could do that, yeah. Thank you.
Hello? Genesis?
Yeah, so what we're saying here is we have to really think about this because it's about tidy. Everybody can benefit on the on this because if it's a case where we've got to tie up our act with the royalties and the artist knows they can get paid, but when we play their music, wow, that's something in it. And there would be our friends that come and sponsor us, wouldn't they? Because they know that they can get their royalties when we play their music. Most pirate stations don't get squat diddly, mate. Because again, that's why I said they can't call it community radio, which I can understand. If it's not a community platform where there's a reciprocal thing going on there between artists and DJs, you know what I mean? Like the mainstream stations where you get a check. If I was an artist and I wrote a song and it played in some other country, I'd get a check dropped through my box for about 50 grand or 60 grand. You understand what I'm saying? Just wake up one morning, boom, there's a check for 60 grand, brethren. I mean, wow. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So, but that won't happen on a pirate station, or not a pirate, but on a so-called community station. So I can understand where Sister's coming from when we come to sort out. I mean, because we spoke about so many things today, and this is the whole idea of a pirate station, people's talk show. Is for you to express yourself in any way you like, apart, with respect, on any topic you have. And so, we're coming there to the end of the show. We have Mr. Riggs in the house. DJ Riggs setting up himself there, relaxing. Yeah. No, I'm not cursing out. How can we curse out Riggs, man? No way, brethren. Right. So he'll be saddling up next, coming in next with a...
So that was Dave Sharrar. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, were you saying something?
Yeah, go
that was Dave Sharrar. He's just saying, we do need to collaborate. And it's a good look. And do you know what? Let me say something. We've got to tap into that positive energy, because it's that positive energy, and that energy is coming from the Most High. That when we look to that energy, we can get things done. And people don't believe we can change, but we can change.
Okay.
But those who are wicked,
don't want to change,
and they don't want to change, they will go down the way of wickedness. And that's what happens to these young people. Unfortunately, when you get mixed up, you might be a good-hearted person and you could chat to one wicked person for one day, and after that, your life is ruined. We have to remember that, It's like we need to put a hedge of protection around us.
Well, let me ask a quick question.
Yeah.
We speak mainly about music DJs, but what about the chat shows? You see what I'm saying? I mean, how do we regulate that?
That's another 4 hours. Can I be honest with you? Coming from... And it's only because I did social research and Caribbean studies as a degree that I know that research before you talk. And I know some of you people be like, so why didn't you do your research before you come here? You've got enough to say, yeah? But research, when you've got an idea, you can find information to support it. And this is what the media do. They've got ideas. It might not be real. It might not be fact.
General,
It might not be fact, but that's what propaganda is. They find information to support it.
Yeah.
So when people are doing their...
We call that, there's a name for that. There's a name called I can't remember. Go
but when we're doing our shows, oftentimes it's just opinions. So people will be coming like, okay, we're hearing a lot of people's opinions, and that's what we find on social media right now. There's people who are putting forth their opinion, and for some reason everyone's listening. How come?
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? You can't listen to someone's opinion. You can't listen to someone's opinion and then take it on into your life without actually measuring where they're coming from. How is this going to affect me?
Right.
Where is it going to take me to? All right, so let me tell you something. There's some people that listen. Okay, Vegas is the perfect one. So there's loads of people that were listening to Vegas. I'm talking about the dancehall artist Vegas, okay? So lots of Christian people that like dancehall would listen to Vegas. And then all of a sudden they're watching Vegas, they're following him, they're leading him. And then Tutu's, he does a 360, a 180, I should say. And now he's bunning out Christianity. Now, I'm not commenting on his beliefs. What I'm saying is you have to be careful where people lead you.
Oh, right.
And oftentimes you don't know where they're leading you until you get there.
That's so perfect to what I was trying to say. That's exactly. So really... That's why I talk about cult following.
I see.
Because you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So having an opinion will be akin to following someone's opinion, which were most of the oh man, we're done.
Okay, good night, goodbye, good night, good love.
Thanks you for your visit.